Can women get kidney stones?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
And they can be, that's just as painful.
Mm-hmm. But it's gross when they do it. It's manly when we do it.
Yeah, when I stand at the toilet and
different.
Scream.
Yeah.
That's
the difference.
Man type alpha.
Yeah. I think it's more common for men.
Yeah, because we
just go harder in life. On today's Pardon My Take, we recap an incredible Masters. Rory finally does it, completes the career Grand Slam. We have SVP live from Augusta, as is tradition, a tradition unlike any other, recapping the Masters. Incredible weekend of sports. We're going to talk some NBA playoff seeding, finally set. We are going to do Who's Back of the Week. We're going to do a little Monday reading. Great show. The sports were great, and we gotta talk about it. And Rory, even though we were haters, tip your cap. So we'll break it all down. It's all brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for all the high stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw-dropping plays. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the play-in game all the way through to the finals, now's the time to back your favorite player and teams as they chase glory all season long. DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Want to make your playoff experience even more intense? Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40, or more? It's your call. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Lock in your bets, and let's make the playoffs run unforgettable. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by DraftKings. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE. For new customers, get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Today is Monday, April 14th, and Rory McIlroy has done it. He has completed the career Grand Slam. He is your Masters champion for 2025, and holy shit, that was an incredible Sunday of golf.
I love that we got free golf.
Yeah.
That was the perfect cap off to a great Masters. I wish we had more free golf. I wish the playoff went on. Credit to us for accurately picking what was going to happen at the end of this Masters, or saying it was our wish.
Almost exactly spot on with Whitney. I think the exact clip was, if Rory has a 5-foot putt to miss to go to a playoff, will you be rooting against him? And I said, yes, absolutely. And I was. And listen, sometimes as a hater, you got to tip your cap and be like, we got bested today. The haters got bested, but we'll
come back stronger than ever, though. That's the thing about the haters. The haters are remarkably resilient.
Yeah, and I have no regrets, too, because there's golf is obviously an interesting sport to root for, because it's not like you're rooting for your team. There's a bunch of guys. You have guys. You don't have guys. I would rather have a set of guys that I root for and a set of guys I hate than be like, I'm just rooting for whoever wins, and then when they win, I say, what a great story. Rory deserved it. I was hoping that Justin Rose is going to win in that playoff, but Rory exercised every single demon with that insanely schizophrenic final 18, because he went, I think he had 6 birdies, 3 bogeys, and 2 double bogeys. He choked multiple times, including on 18, and then he comes back and birdies 18 and wins the Masters. So, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone more relieved, happy to win a golf tournament than Rory McIlroy when he won the Masters.
So I think Rory might be his own biggest hater. That's the thing here. That's why I'm kind of okay with how it turned out. Rory loves to choke himself out.
Yeah.
And it's like good Rory and bad Rory out there on the course. And it's always like good Rory trying to fend off bad Rory for just long enough to make it work. Usually I feel like bad Rory is like 6-3 over good Rory.
Yeah.
And we saw bad Rory take it to a playoff against good Rory.
Even to start, he went double bogey to start.
Yeah, bad Rory, he teed off on one.
Yeah.
And good Rory was like, fuck you, I'm not going to let you take over my day. Played pretty well. Then the nine happens.
Second nine.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Can we bleep that out?
Yeah, bleep that out.
The second nine happens, and the patrons were all going up and down alongside Rory because I feel like most of them were cheering him on.
Yeah.
But then the second you see some cracks in the armor, you get that little. There's like almost excitement to see how is Rory going to choke this one out again.
Yeah.
And then on 16, he hit it in the water on maybe the easiest shot ever. And this, my friends, is why you should never lay up. Because Rory tried to play it safe. He laid up. Then he had a little chip shot into the water. If he hit that second shot with some balls and said, fuck it, I'm going to try to win this thing, then his second shot goes in the water. And then he takes the drop and he avoids the double bogey.
Yeah.
So he had that happen. He was probably pumped that Augusta doesn't allow cell phones and cameras out there. So nobody had any bad footage of it.
Didn't have to confiscate.
And then on 18, going into the bunker, and when he misses that putt, there was like a groundswell of excitement in the crowd, which is like, we're witnessing history here. We're witnessing, like, nobody had thought that Rory could choke things away worse than he has in the past. This would be an all-timer. What was that, a 3-footer?
No, 5 or 6.
It looked 3 on TV. So then I feel like people started to get excited. I started to get excited to see another classic Rory choke job, but then I saw he's playing against Justin Rose in the playoffs. And if it was a guy that I felt strongly about one way or the other, I think I would have liked to see that person beat Rory. But with Justin Rose, it's like, Hank and I were watching.
We were still rooting against Rory. Justin Rose here. You should feel bad for Justin Rose. That's his second place at the Masters. The second time he's lost in a playoff. He lost to Sergio in the playoff at the Masters. And also, Justin Rose had 10 birdies today. 10 birdies in his final round, and he lost.
And he just missed that short putt on 17.
I know. There were so many incredible shots, both good and bad. It was just the best. It was the best. And so I was thinking about it because I was really bummed out when Rory had completed the 10th, and I think he was 4 shots up. And I was like, this is going to suck. There's going to be no drama. He's going to go on and win it. He didn't have to be pushed to that limit. Because like Bryson just had a horrendous day. Sorry, Bryson DeChambeau, as Skip Bayless calls him, had a horrendous day. Was like a total non-factor after the fourth hole, and I was bummed because I wanted, if Rory was going to win the career Grand Slam, I wanted to see him push to the brink. So
and he almost went in the water at 11.
Yeah,
that's when I was like, this is
the
over.
ball that rolled,
that was when I thought the first time
day.
It's over.
Yeah,
he got it. 4-shot lead, avoided the water.
But the fact that Rory was pushed to the brink made me, even as a hater, I had to tip my cap and be like, that was incredible. Like the career achievement, he waited 11 years to win his next major. The last one was in 2014. He was, he had the 4-shot lead in 2011. And I'm just happy that he got pushed and he choked and he unchoked and he choked. And then he got like the shot of a lifetime on 15 was an insane shot. So I can lay my sword down and be like, you know what, Rory, you deserve that. Even though you choked like 4 times, you deserve that because you bounced back after every single one. Yeah, he could have quit at any point.
He beat all the haters, including us.
Yep.
He beat everybody he was competing against, and he beat himself, but in a good way.
Yeah.
He beat the bad version of himself. So he truly conquered the world today.
And for the Rory fans, by the way, when we have Scott Van Pelt on, which we do every Masters live from Augusta, he will wax poetically about Rory. So you'll get all that.
Jim Nantz almost laid the biggest jinx of all time, waxing poetic on Rory, going down the 18th fairway.
He did
talking about like how he grew up. By the way, shout out Rory's dad. I don't know if Rory's dad had a future bet on him to win the Masters like he did the Open Championship.
Yeah.
I think he won like $400,000 on that the first time Rory won. Great dad. But yeah, Jim Nantz was he was laid it on.
He unloaded the clip.
Thick with like 7 C's.
And they had the graphic. If he didn't win that that playoff, the graphic of him lining up his putt on the 18th that says going for career Grand Slam would have lived in infamy.
Yeah, for sure. Also, shout out Skip Bayless for dropping Bryson DeChambeau on us on a Sunday. That's one of the ones, hand up, we missed that one.
Big time.
But that's why Skip is the man. That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
I was getting accused of jinxing because I was like, Rory's got this. It was right after the ball didn't go in the water. I was like, it's just his day. And then I realized, like, you have to have those moments where you're like, listen, you could be a narcissist and think that you can actually affect these games, which you can't, and that you jinx it. And then you have to realize there's a higher power at play, and his name is Skip Bayless, because right before I think Rory went into the water officially, he tweeted, "Congratulations, Rory, for winning the 2025 Masters and completing the career Grand Slam. Extraordinary performance. Was I ever wrong about today and Bryson DeChambeau bogey?"
Yeah.
He tweeted that on the 12th hole.
I think I tweeted out congrats to Rory on winning the Masters at like 10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
I was so pumped up to see a potential Rory choke job.
And he did. That's why I'm like not as mad. If he had just waltzed into a 4-stroke victory, I would have been a real salty bitch right now. He really did, like, he gave us all the chokes, and then he still won.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Fair play. Like, shake hands. Good job. You gave me the moments I needed. I needed those moments where it's like, holy shit, this is actually happening again. And then he eventually gets the Grand Slam. And I am happy for him that he gets the monkey off his back in that respect.
It was a win-win.
Yeah.
Truly for everybody involved. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but last night, my man Skip put this out. Rory McIlroy is the LeBron James of golf. A supremely gifted, nice guy without killer instinct. Bryson DeChambeau is the Jake Paul of golf.
Oh.
Who isn't afraid to do it his way. Skip Bayless just definitely walks around all day looking at things and being like, you know what that reminds me of? LeBron James, who I hate, by the way.
Like Jake Paul, too.
I think Skip is in love with LeBron James.
He just wants
he
one
just
mention.
sees him everywhere.
If LeBron would just mention him once.
Wants to be great.
One time.
It did feel, as a hater,
Yeah, Hank, you're actually the I think if we ranked our haterness of Rory here, you're number one.
But you defended him when he stole the young man's cell phone.
I made one side comment,
remember that was because he thinks he takes side of the players.
No, that was just one comment.
hates
you guys
all
jumped down my
patrons.
throat about it. But I was rooting against him. It felt very similar to 2016 LeBron, similar where it's like you root so hard against them and they accomplish, history. And it's basically you're never going to be able to get your level of hate up again.
No, he won.
Because if LeBron had lost that Warrior series and his finals record, you could always run that narrative. If Rory chokes this, the narrative never goes away. Now it's like if you're hating, it's just it's a much harder hate.
Yeah, we had to
and
retire.
That's what I'm sad about.
Yeah, we had to retire because Rory, no matter what, he is now the 6th all time to have the career Grand Slam. Only the 2nd next to Tiger Woods to do it in the last 50 years. So like in the modern era. And I actually think, I'll say this, I think Rory might go on a hot streak.
Yeah.
Because like that did feel like the monkey off your back Steve Young moment where the way that went down and the chokes and the unchokes and the big shots and the shot of a lifetime, Rory might just rip off, he might get to 10 majors. I'll call it right now.
He's got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
When Tiger came back and won at Augusta, was it 2019?
Yeah.
2018? That felt like he left it all out there. We all kind of knew, it's incredible that this is happening, but let's not expect Tiger to go on one of his runs. With Rory, he's been so close so recently.
He's been incredible. Road to Dubai.
Yeah.
Ever heard of it?
That was more important than that's what got the monkey off his back.
What did you guys make of it came out afterwards that Rory refused to say a word to Bryson during the round? I kind of love that.
Bryson said he wouldn't talk to me at all.
Yeah, I love that because Bryson probably his brain was malfunctioning, being like, but my PR team told me that if I do the YouTube, guys will talk to me.
Well, he needs the comment section to get his next jokes.
Yeah, Bryson was, I bet on him to start the day just because I was like, I want to bet on something and I had no other bets going. And I was begrudgingly a Bryson rider. I didn't like it.
A brider?
A brider. I didn't like it. He just was a no. I actually think Rory kind of rope-a-doped him pretty well after the first hole. Like, after the first hole, you're like, Bryson's going to win this going away. And Bryson got comfortable and then just kept on going down.
They did an interview with him afterwards, and they're like, what happened with one of your misses? I forget which one it was, but he was like, yeah, the wind picked up after I hit it, so there's really not a lot I can do about that. And then he looks at her and goes, I guess I'll just have to learn to hit the ball harder. So now that's his solution for everything. He's going to have to drive the ball farther.
Was that the interview that they awkwardly did during the playoff? Because there was that one where they cut to Bryson. We're like, we don't need to hear from Bryson.
Yeah, you're done.
He didn't finish second.
That's always such a disappointment when the last group, when it's worse when both guys don't end up in competition at the very end. But when one guy just bows out, that's just sad to watch him finish the round of golf.
Well, and how do you say his name? Oberg?
Ludwig.
Yeah.
He hasn't earned the umlaut.
That was tough.
Listen.
18, just making everyone wait because he couldn't hit. He just
I thought
kept
that
on
was
hitting
great for the. I thought he was icing Rory. I was pumped about it.
See, this is why he's the number one hitter. I love it.
bet on. I'm going to call him Aberg until he wins. He doesn't deserve that. I bet on him, and Hank, please remind me to not bet on him to win any majors.
That's tough
because
he's going to.
But here's the thing: did you see how he finished today?
He choked last year too.
Like,
yes,
and this wasn't just a choke. Like
he could have easily been. Yeah,
he could have won, but if he had the lead outright, and that's how he ended his round. People would be, let's say he was in the final group today, and that's how he finished his round when he was in contention to win. People would be talking about that as maybe the biggest meltdown outside that French guy at the Open Championship.
Yeah, or Greg Norman.
Yeah, but no, I think it would be like just as bad, if not worse, than Norman, the way he played those last few holes.
I kept saying as a hater, I was like, me and Max were in here and Bick at the end, but I was like, what if he just, duffed one 100 yards in front of him? Or like, what if he just hit a tree and it just came backwards? Ludwig actually did that.
Yeah, he did that.
Like he just hit it into the bunker.
Yeah.
Hank
went
was,
bunker
you were
to
doing
bunker.
the opposite, Hank. I was sitting there asking questions like, I think blah, blah, blah. And he's like, nah, Rory's got this every time. He was like, this is easy for him, up and down every time.
Hank also shushed us before a tee shot. I was like, did you just shush us?
They were talking about the
in
fucking
this
draft
room?
lottery rankings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
We got to figure out how to get to the lottery.
Yeah.
What
It's
do you
in
mean?
Chicago.
Is it really?
Yeah.
When is it?
I don't know.
It's
It's
in
like
that-
very private, but
That's what we were talking
I
about.
was saying I hope
One
the
of-
Bulls don't make the playoffs and I can be in the lottery because I'm convinced in my dumb brain they'll rig it for the Bulls.
I need to be in.
Yeah,
in
we
the
got. I
audience.
got to be in.
Yeah.
I gotta be.
I don't
Or
even
maybe
think they have an
maybe the
audience.
Wizards. Like, who else are the Wizards going to ask to step in
That's
to be the
what I said.
representative?
Yeah.
Washington
Yeah.
Wizards. Listen, I would love to represent.
love the
you
Wizards.
At the,
You
they're-
have
I'm a
always
diehard-
loved the Wizards.
Nobody beats the
Zards,
Wiz,
baby.
Yeah,
Zards.
I'm a Bullets fan.
Yeah. But the whole whatever it was, last 2 hours of the Masters on Sunday.
The whole round.
Yeah, the
'cause
whole
it
round,
started,
but-
like the
but it's-
3-shot swing off the jump, and then it was just.
But especially when Justin Rose started making his moves. I mean, what a fucking putt on 18 too for Justin Rose. But it was sports at its finest. Like I was just sitting there smiling ear to ear, being like, no matter what happens here, it's you're watching history, and it ended up being real history because of his Grand Slam. It was great. And our boy Max, T12.
Yeah, love it.
He gets automatically back to the Masters next year.
Max had a great weekend. The round that he shot on Friday, I think it was a 70 that he shot on Friday. That was the best 70 that you'll ever see in your life. He was scrambling all day, somehow made it work. I'm very happy for him. I'm also very happy that JT didn't do that great.
Yeah.
Because if JT had finished like top 5, his caddy is Max's old caddy that broke up with him.
Well, just for this week.
Yeah.
Just for this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
still,
it was just a filler.
Max doesn't need that.
No. Max might be back. This might be the start of the championship DVD. Got him pumped up. He's a superstar. What else? Oh, I think we weren't talking about it before, but I said before the whole Sunday started, and I think you'll agree with me, PFT, like when you were looking at who could win this, Patrick Reed somehow like winning it would have been hilarious.
It'd
And
been
he
so fun.
actually,
If he didn't
that
3-putt
eagle,
on 15, yeah.
I know, the eagle that he
Hold
hold out. Yeah, he ended up what, like third or
Well, no,
fourth?
he had a birdie putt on 15 that he 3-putted. Like he missed it,
so
then
bad.
missed the par putt, which is 2 shots, which
Did you guys
he
think
would have been tied.
Scotty was a little extra icy to Rory in the Butler cabin?
I didn't sense that.
I sense Scotty being not like in a fuck you way, more in a I'm the best golfer in the world, I should be winning this every year way.
Like he's pissed off at
Yeah,
himself.
he's gonna go on a fuck you tour because he had Saturday was what did him in. What he
Well-
ended up finishing 4th, and he could not get it going on Saturday.
He's also going to be the new narrative guy. He might just be a Masters merchant. He's got to win a major that's not the Masters.
Oh, you
Now,
think
I'm
so?
thinking like
You're just looking for the new
I'm
narratives?
thinking Rory's that was the narrative
Yeah.
for a long time. Not only at the Masters, but 10 years at majors. He kind of choked at the Open a few years ago. Last year at the U.S. Open.
Interesting.
that's a big narrative that's gone now.
You
And
can
Scotty
only
Scheffler,
win-
I've already seen a
Yeah.
couple tweets where it's like Scotty Scheffler is the best in the world. People comparing him to Tiger. These are his, finishes in majors in his last 10 majors. It's not the greatest.
I like that
Yes,
In
narrative.
terms of being called the greatest, he's the number one. He's the best. Like
You're right.
that's
He's
going to
finished
be
tied for second in the PGA 2 years ago and the U.S. Open 3 years ago. But still, Hank, narrative. He's the narrative finder. I like Scotty.
I like Scotty too. I feel bad. Like it's like someone's got to take up that torch, and he's the number one. He's the
Yeah.
number one golfer.
I'm a Scotty guy. I do think that golf is one of those weird sports where you get accused of like, hey, why are you rooting against Rory? It's like I just can't. I have to pick my sides in golf. I can't be whoever wins. I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm so happy for them.
Yeah,
it's more fun if you have your side.
It's a weird sport. It's like this, and I guess auto racing is
Yeah,
kind of
NASCAR.
similar, where you just like pick a guy and you're like, I enjoy rooting for that one person.
Right.
And then if they have any sort of like any semblance of beef with anybody else,
Yeah.
then that guy is now your mortal enemy because you like rooting for that other human.
I know that the beef has been squashed with Bryson, but I did feel dirty betting on him today.
Yeah, you should.
It's like I don't really want to do this. I don't want to be a brider.
I generally would just root for. I just enjoyed. I guess this is a little sick. Like I like chokes and like comebacks.
Yeah, right.
Like I'd
You want
rather. Yeah, I
storylines.
want something to happen. If I'm gonna be invested,
You're
but I
a
don't-
journalist at
I don't
heart.
care that much about the players per se, except for a few. But yeah, rooting against Rory is fun.
you care about the sport
Yeah, you care about the narratives.
and the course.
I like to be entertained.
You're a journalist.
I'm here to be entertained.
You are a journalist at heart.
Who won the journalist lottery? Do we know that?
I don't know.
Let's see.
I did see. There was Kyle Porter, who I actually like, and he does a good job writing about golf. He had one of those tweets this morning. I was like, dude, you don't really have to say all this. What?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this was before the round PFT. He said, I'm completely fine if you want to call me head of the Glaze committee or whatever when it comes to Rory. Totally get it. Completely understand. I've seen every comment imaginable and a lot I wish I hadn't. We all probably take it too far at times, me possibly most of all. It is strange to cover a generational athlete like this, though, someone who could go down as one of the 10 to 15 best ever in his 150-year-old sport, someone who also lets you into his humanity at times, both publicly and privately. I like Rory personally, of course, but I also think his golf and his life bring out the best in me, the best of my writing and my thinking about this stupid, ridiculous game. Certainly, this is a rabbit hole that you can go too far down and find yourself in too deep. You might be there, but I would always rather err on the side on that side than on the side of holding back my writing about a sport I've truly grown to love. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, saying Rory's play brings out the best in me as a writer. I love that.
That's good.
Yeah,
Iron sharpens
Glaze
iron.
committee, head of the Glaze committee.
So I can't find out who won the lottery, but Jay Busby said they've just announced the winners of the Masters Media Lottery, and you're going to be getting some good "Here's How I Played Augusta" stories on Tuesday. So a little teaser. Apparently, it's worthy selections this year.
I know JJ Watt's playing. He is. He tweeted that. He's like, I got lucky enough to be able to play on Monday.
Is Ken Griffey Jr.?
I don't know.
Did you see that?
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, he's a professional photographer.
Someone's like, this is the greatest way to backdoor your way into a tee time.
He rocks, Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah. Him and Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
Big photogs.
Did you see what many people are saying might have spurned Rory onto victory?
Okay. No.
Yes.
The Reckoning?
No, I was
Oh.
going to say he's reading a book.
Yeah. The Reckoning.
Oh, that's the name of the book.
Yeah.
I liked it better when they just reported that he was reading a book.
Oh, no, it's way better.
Okay.
So
Did you-
it's The Reckoning.
First page.
Here's the first page. This is going to be part of my Monday reading. I have a different one for us, but this is the start of The Reckoning. It's a John Grisham novel. On a cold morning in early October of 1946, Pete Banning awoke before sunrise and had no thoughts of going back to sleep. For a long time, he lay in the center of his bed, stared at the dark ceiling, and asked himself for the 1,000th time if he had the courage. Finally, as the first trace of dawn peeked through a window, he accepted the solemn reality that it was time for the killing. The need for it had become so overwhelming that he could not continue with his daily routines. He could not remain the man he was until the deed was done. Its planning was simple, yet difficult to imagine. Its aftershocks would rattle on for decades and change the lives of those he loved and many of those he didn't. That's the start of the book.
Okay.
It's time for the killing.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
John
also
Grisham.
like that John Grisham. All of his books are just the and then a random word.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I've got a good idea for the next one. It's going to start with the.
Yeah.
And then he flips a dictionary and stops on a word. He's like, okay, the client.
Yeah.
Good.
The Fountainhead, is that one?
Yeah, that's also John Grisham.
That's
Yeah.
John Grisham. Other notes from the Masters. Shout out Nick Dunlap. He actually gets my green jacket. If we're giving out a personal green jacket, he shot a 90 on Thursday and basically the worst round you could possibly shoot, had the yips, and came back and shot a 71 on Friday could have easily withdrew. Mm-hmm. He was like dropping his driver on in the tee box constantly. He's my personal green jacket.
So I was looking up the worst rounds ever shot at Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
The worst round ever shot technically never happened at Augusta because the guy that shot it, Billy Casper, he shot it in 2005. He shot 106 at Augusta, but in an all-time baller move, he finishes and refuses to sign the scorecard.
I love that.
So it doesn't officially count.
I love that.
So the 106 that he shot is not the worst round ever shot there.
Okay, that was very smart of him. Also, another note from Augusta, which is I think very important, probably the most important thing that happened for everyone who's watching. There's a huge collectible difference between Rory winning and Rose winning. Masters 2025 flags would not sell out if Rose won. Badge would be half as collectible. That's what I thought of immediately when it happened.
The badge.
The badge, half as collectible. That was from Darren Ravel.
he had an all-timer. Let me pull this up real quick because
Half as collectible.
he's been on one this weekend. This was sent to me by our good friend and kickoff ruiner Sam Schwartzstein. Should items? This was a picture of gloves worn in the Frozen Four. This
Okay.
weekend, the person who wore the gloves scored.
Shout out Western Michigan,
Yeah.
by the way. Maction, incredible story.
So
Going away against BU on Saturday night.
So this guy scored 4 goals.
Tony
for Western
Scheffler, by the way, shout
Michigan.
out.
Said Darren Ravel says, should items like this go to the Hall of Fame in an era when collectibles are becoming more increasingly valuable? They sent the gloves to the Hall of Fame, and Darren's saying, why are these going? Why should anyone be able to enjoy these when one person can pay for the right to only have them enjoy it?
Yeah, why should the whole world be able to go visit these gloves and see history instead of just one privately wealthy person be able to put it in their house?
Yeah,
And
why
be like,
can't-
hey, check out these gloves?
So why is this in the Hockey Hall of Fame when I could buy it and then put it in my closet for 60 years?
Makes a lot more sense how he had that MLK memorabilia.
More-
Everyone's like, this should be in a museum, dude.
More increasingly valuable is also a great sentence.
The other story I had, maybe all-time vibes guy, also maybe something you need to work towards, Hank, the marker. I didn't realize they
Yes.
changed
Oh
their
my
marker.
God.
So at Augusta, if there's an odd number of guys that make the cut, the last pairing, the last person plays with a marker who's just a member at Augusta. This person plays with them, plays around with them, doesn't keep their score, also picks up anything within 8 feet.
Yes.
But it's a really good golfer. The guy's name is Michael McDermott. So I think they had one marker for like 20 years. This guy took over a couple of years ago. Might be an all-time vibes guy. So he played with Tom Kim on the 3rd round. Tom Kim had his best round of the weekend or of the week. Shot a 72. And then Brian Campbell today shot a 68 with Michael McDermott, the marker. So that's got to be the coolest thing. We were talking about the e-bug with Whitney. The fact that there's a guy who gets to go play Sunday pins in front of the crowd is one of the coolest things ever.
So also with this guy, he doesn't have the score, like you said. He is not allowed to speak to the media.
Yep.
And he does not get his name on the back of the caddy.
Yep.
So the guy, Michael, what's his name? Michael McDermott. He's also apparently the CEO of a financial company.
Yeah, and he's a member at Pine Valley, Marion, and Augusta. I looked it up. Pine Valley Marion is the 5th best private club in the country. Pine Valley's 6th. So imagine like this guy going to Pine Valley and being like, yeah, this actually is my least favorite private club because he's also a member of Augusta.
What if he shot like
He's just like the greatest networker of all time. That's what I was like.
Oh, well, apparently he's an incredible golfer.
But still, there's plenty of incredible golfers. How do you, get access to all these?
You
places
have to be
to let alone then be like of all the Augusta members to be like, all right, you're going to be the marker.
I think it has to be because there's a lot of Augusta members like Bill Gates and Roger Goodell who like you can't have them be the marker. It's got to be kind of someone a little bit anonymous and a really good golfer. But oh my God, I mean that's the coolest.
He must just
and
pray. He must be the most nervous person on Friday.
Right,
just praying for an odd number.
Right, and you also they have to do it this way because if they just got a random person, that person would talk to the media. If it's an Augusta member, that guy's never ever going to say a word to the media about anything. Because he doesn't want to give up his privileges.
What if he shot like a 66, 67? 2 rounds in a row. Like, what if he would have made the cut?
There's stories. The previous one beat guys sometimes. Like, I think there was a story about a marker beating, was it Jeff Knox, the previous one?
Yeah, this guy has the course record at Augusta.
And he beat a player in a round, and like the player got, Sergio. Sergio was pissed at him. And Rory.
He was pissed because he was too
Rory
good?
chokes. I think he beat Sergio, and Sergio was mad about it.
McIlroy would later say that Knox was the best I've ever seen on Augusta's greens.
Ready? Garcia finished 1 over 73. Knox finished 72. Garcia refused to shake Knox's hand after the round. That's awesome.
And like Tiger Woods would go, like this was the marker that I heard the story about this week. Like Tiger would go to this guy before every like Masters tournament and like ask him about how the greens, how they are at that time. Like this guy is such a legend.
That guy if you're the marker at Augusta, you are just part of the golf course.
Right. Yeah. I have a question about Augusta, Hank. Did they take a bunch of trees out? Isn't that a story?
Hurricane.
Yeah, the hurricane made it a lot easier.
Did it?
At 10.
I feel like there was times where Rory or anyone would hit into the woods. And then they'd go to Dottie, who's phenomenal, by the way. Dottie's like so soothing. They'd be like, "Hey, Dottie, what do you see?" And she'd be like, "He's got a perfect look.
Not much.
Like he can just go right over this tower. Mm-hmm. He's got no problem. There's no trees.
Not Aberg. Aberg wasn't good.
They got to get more trees in there.
Fucking tree magnet.
I just want.
I think the shot tracer is part of it too.
Why?
The shot tracer, like it initially will go right, and you're like, "Oh, that's going to keep going," but it kind of straightens
and it'll just
out.
go right in the fairway. But when you get in the woods, I want you in the woods.
So yeah, the hurricane took him out on 10. The guys were cutting the corner.
Yeah,
like, it was ridiculous. You could see where there should be trees.
Yeah, get those trees back in there. Incredible golf tournament, though. Happy for Rory, begrudgingly. I mean, that show of emotion after he did it, that was as genuine and as cool as it gets. Even my cold hater heart could be like, man, the amount of
dream come true.
Like the relief, though. It's different than a guy winning, and if Rory had won in 2011, it would have been nothing like that. Winning now, the relief that he has that he finally did it, because if he had spent his entire career being the guy who was one short of the career Grand Slam, it would have haunted him. So I'm happy for him. I know that sounds pussy because we were haters.
Well, no, I mean it was fun. We saw him choke. He choked. Yeah. That was good.
I'm happy for him. I'm sad for my hate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's gone. My hate is it's over.
He extinguished it.
Yeah,
he vanquished it.
What was the genesis of your hate towards Rory? Was it during the live split?
Really
He's a live guy.
It was a lot of live stuff. Which live, I think I'm done with live. Although some, they did.
You can't say
okay,
that.
But our boys, Brooks, Max, Cam Smith, my 3 favorite golfers, and Brooks and Cam Smith. That hurt a lot. But it was the live stuff, and then even like the U.S. Open. No, it was really
Ryder Cup.
It was the
Ryder
Open.
Cup was for me.
It was the Open. Cam Smith. I was rooting so hard for Cam Smith and rooting for Rory to miss those putts, and he kept missing him. That was so fun, and then he did it again in the U.S. Open. It was so fun. So it's not like a deep-rooted hate, a little different than LeBron, but that Open versus Cam Smith was like such a fun Sunday viewing, hating experience where everyone was rooting for him. He had so many putts, and he just left everything so short. And then it happened again against Bryson. Like that, it was the U.S. Open was shocking. When
Yeah.
he missed those 3-footers. So that was probably the genesis.
Mine was the Ryder Cup hat gate. Remember the fight
Yeah,
in the
yep.
in the parking lot? I just got very, USA. Oh, fuck that.
It is tough when you kind of like a guy and then you have to compete against him in the Ryder Cup. And
Right.
you're like, fuck this guy. And then forever he's got that state. Like I rooted against him that one time and I kind of liked it.
Right.
And I kind of want to keep doing it.
Because I'm not a natural Rory hater. Like I didn't have a strong opinion about him for whatever the first, I don't know, 10 years of his career. Then Ryder Cup, then the cell phone, then just some of the media stuff. The wheels out,
Yeah, when he
spinning the
sped
wheels
off.
out, which I actually loved because it was just great how upset everyone was. But yeah, that's where mine came from.
Why are you burying the lead though, Hank? You might be done. You might be done with Liv. Are you going to unlive yourself?
Don't do it.
For the Masters, yes. I will not. I'm done with thinking that, the live guys can make it happen.
Do you think there's
I'm
any
going to do it next year then.
Yeah.
Good luck.
hater max? There's
mean-
a hater void.
But it would be right, like if the year that you stop doing it.
Yeah.
Do you think
You don't want to miss out on that opportunity.
there's anything to be said with the live guys did really well the first year that live happened and they competed in all these majors? They did really well. And then as the years have gone on,
Yes.
it's because they
Yes.
all have a ton of money and they're all
Yes.
playing 54 holes,
Yeah.
right? Tournament. What is it? 56?
54.
54.
And they're not pushed the same way.
I've come around. I've come all the way around.
Okay.
Who are the 4 aces again?
It's Patrick Reed, Dustin Johnson, Harold Varner, and
We were so close.
let's go Peter Uline.
Okay.
No, he was definitely
No.
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years of you trying to name the 4
Well, they
aces.
change a lot, dude. They're going through some stuff.
Dustin Johnson,
Harold
Patrick
Varner.
Reed, Harold Varner, and who's the last one? Thomas Peters.
Oh, yeah, like
Come on, Belgium. All right, let's talk some other sports. We're gonna do more Masters with SVP. He's live from Augusta, as is tradition. Before we talk some more sports, game time. The NBA playoffs are here. The only place to buy hard to get playoff tickets is Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Hank, can you look up Bulls Heat? I think it's Wednesday night, the play-in game.
sure.
With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. You can save up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets. Plus, on April 22nd for Earth Day, when you select and purchase a super deal, Game Time will plant a tree with the proceeds. Looking at tickets here for Bulls Heat.
$50. Bulls are about to go on a run. I think they
you
can beat the
keep saying
Cavs. It
that.
starts on Wednesday night. You can get in the
He's
building for
doing this.
$50.
Amazing deal for $50. Go
Believe,
see-
dude.
No, March is not real NBA basketball, but now we're in real NBA basketball. So go United Center, $50. Bulls Heat. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PMT for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. We're also brought to you by Stella Blue. It's Stella Blue Coffee. We believe good coffee is one of life's non-negotiables. Our delicious roasts are available in cold brew, K-Cups, ground, and whole bean formats to seamlessly fit into your morning coffee routine. And the best part, each purchase helps save homeless pets. Now you can also fuel your mornings with Battle Bars, new dark chocolate espresso protein bars. Do I have one on my desk? Or do we have one in here?
I just ate half one.
They're so good.
They are good.
So good. They are Battle Bars. We teamed up with Battle Bars. They have caffeine in them. They taste delicious. Each bar packs 17 grams of protein, 100 milligrams of natural caffeine, and 0 fake sugars to keep you powered up and dialed in. Every bite is battle tested and Big Cat approved. Shop today at StellaBlueCoffee.com or BattleBars.com while supplies last. They're really, really good. I love them. And we worked on the whole, the Battle Bars guys came in. We worked on all the formulas, and they came out great. So go check out StellaBlueCoffee.com or BattleBars.com. All right, NBA playoffs are here. We have our seeding. The Cavs are the 1 seed. They're going to play the winner of the the winner of Magic Heat Hawks loser versus Heat Bulls winner. I hate the play-in.
Yeah.
Celtics are the 2 seed. They're going to play the winner of Magic Hawks. Knicks versus Pistons. Pacers versus Bucks. That's the East. The West is Thunder versus the Warriors Grizzlies loser versus the Kings Magic winner. Again, I hate the play-in. Rockets are the 2 seed versus the Warriors Grizzlies winner. 3 seed is Lakers T-Wolves. 4 seed is Nuggets Clippers. We had crazy dramas going on during the Masters. The Warriors were trying to not be in the play-in. They lost in overtime to the Clippers. Thoughts, boys? I'm excited for some playoffs. I do not like the play-in because I've said from the beginning it is a ploy for the Jerry Reinsdorf type owners to convince their fan base that they've made it to the playoffs when they have not.
I might like the play-in game.
I like watching the
play-in tournament for one exclusive reason this postseason.
Yeah.
That's if the Mavericks go on a little run.
Yeah.
That would be very, very funny to see. But outside of that, no, I don't like the play-in tournament sucks. Like 8 seeds, give it to us 8 seeds. Don't bring the 9 and the 10 into it. The regular season's long. We've got a big enough sample size. We introduced this just so that we could try to get superstars in that were playing on shitty teams. It sucks. I don't like it at all.
Think about this. I know obviously the Warriors can win and get in, but the Warriors are 48 and 34. And there's a world where the Mavericks at 39 and 43 could get in over a 48 and 34 team. You played 82 games. It's stupid. And I'm personally biased because Jerry Reinsdorf uses the Bulls being. I think this is like the 6th straight year that we've been in the playing game.
It makes the regular season mean even less, which is hard to do for the NBA.
Yeah.
But somehow you manage to water it down a little bit more. It'd be so funny though if the Mavericks went on a run. That's in the name of hilarity and just like chaos. That's what I'm rooting for.
NBA should have had the schedule today, tomorrow.
Yes.
Like insane.
Insane to go up against the Masters. It's so stupid. So, Hank, we're going to do a big preview probably on Friday, maybe get Windy on or Rosillo. Hank, you are wanting who? The Magic or the Hawks?
I'm wanting the Hawks.
Okay. So,
We've been
so
bad.
You're scared of the Magic.
We have as bad a record against the Magic as it might be the worst record we have in the last 3 years against any team.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think we're 2-5 or 3-6 or something in our last 9.
Are you more scared of the Magic than you are of the Cavs?
Possibly, yeah.
You disrespect the Cavs so much.
I'm not worried about the Cavs.
Yeah.
The Bulls could beat the Cavs.
You keep saying that, and you're wrong. That means you're scared of the Cavs. Like, that actually says that you're scared of the Cavs because you keep saying, I want the Bulls to beat the Cavs.
I think
I didn't say I want them to. I'm just saying, the Bulls are trending. The Cavs are overrated.
Again, March basketball that we played a week ago, and the Cavs beat us by 20.
I think it's half Hank disrespecting the Cavs, half Hank hating the Cavs, and then the last is Hank being half scared of the Cavs.
Yeah.
3 halves to Hank's hatred.
I'm very excited for the West playoffs, though, because the Lakers and T-Wolves are going to be great. T-Wolves have been playing well down the stretch. I mean, I don't know where the Warriors, Rockets, old heads versus new guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Well,
Doka revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ja Morant, the Grizzlies, I don't know. I want Ja to keep playing more because I want him to keep finding different ways to pull out weapons, fake weapons, like throwing grenades at the crowd. I want him to turn a nuclear weapon key. He has to get a teammate to help him do that one.
Yep.
I want this to keep getting more and more violent, and then Ja just being like, fuck it, fine, me, do whatever you want to. Nobody's talking about the Rockets. Nobody's talked about the Rockets all year.
Rockets are good.
Should we put some
They're
respect
young.
on the Rockets?
Well, the Rockets are like the Thunder last year.
I would like
where
to-
you could just say they're really good, but they got to go through it once.
I would like to officially put some part of my take respect on the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Respect done.
They got the LeBron stopper.
Well, yeah, respect on the Rockets, but I just think that they're too young. 5-year playoff drought. Done. Gone. James Harden, no longer on the team. Not walking through that door.
But James
new guys.
Ime.
Yeah.
Good coach.
Ime is a very good
Great coach.
Still don't know what he did,
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
but he's a good coach.
The Clippers, the Clippers scare me as a Nuggets fair weather fan.
Anytime Kawhi is healthy,
Yeah.
you have to be scared of the Clippers because he still will The Clippers could absolutely beat the Nuggets, and then we'll get a story that Kawhi actually is hurt and he's out for the rest of the playoffs, and they'll lose.
And then some team will give him $200 million.
By the way, speaking of the Nuggets, so Friday night, Jokic sealed a triple-double for the season. Third time ever that's happened. Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook, Nikola Jokic for averaging a triple-double in a season. Pretty crazy. He's not going to win MVP this year, partially because SGA has been incredible, but also a little voter fatigue. Does anyone want to guess what Jokic, his response to averaging a triple-double for the year was after the game?
Is good.
Pretty close.
Okay.
He said, "It's nice. I think I didn't do that before. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's good."
There we go. That's perfect.
I think I didn't do that before. He's the fucking best.
Yeah, no.
Like, remember when
This is
Russell
the
Westbrook
third time
did
it's
it?
ever happened.
Yeah. Remember when Russell Westbrook did it and was like, was crashing every free throw to get the rebounds and
Yeah.
everything? And Jokic's just like, "It's good. I don't think I've done that." It's good. It's nice.
Very nice. The Westbrook series from the Nuggets to the Clippers. I feel like the team that used to have Westbrook on their roster usually wins these types of series. I might just be making that up. It might be based off vibes, but I feel like getting to play against him every night is good for the team that used to have him because they're constantly being reminded, like, thank God this guy's not on our team anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even though he's kind of been a little bit of a different player for the Nuggets.
Maybe he can just go revenge mode.
He could go, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not good
When
thing.
he goes revenge mode, it's bad.
Yeah. Do we have any thoughts on LeBron shirtless warming up? Isiah Thomas was
Yeah.
in tears.
I think it's disrespectful to the
He's done that
game.
forever.
I know. I loved how upset Isiah Thomas was.
This
He
is in the
was-
G League.
He was so mad. He was so mad about it. I don't know if you can find the clip.
Sweaty.
Yeah, LeBron,
Nipples protruding. Disgusting.
it was like an empty arena. And Isiah Thomas was he was going to cry.
He might be going through some body image issues of his own.
Who?
Isiah Thomas.
I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that he freaked out by seeing
Get this jacked shirtless guy off my screen.
the fact that he gets that upset by seeing another man take his clothes off is
True.
pretty suspect. Yeah, it's suspect.
Yeah, we did actually get to the bottom of PFT's thing with the
We did?
Jim. Yeah, he was jerking off in the guy's face.
I was jacking off in his face. Yeah, apparently that's gay. And guys can't jack off. That dude's
He told us after we stopped recording, he's like, "Oh, I forgot. I was jerking off in his face."
That dude has never played a team sport. If he's getting upset about having a guy jack off in his face in the locker room, come on, man. I love his whole thing because I think he's in love with LeBron because he's like to see a man out there on the court, no shirt off.
It's also funny.
Working out, looking all strong. The only word that comes to my mind is fine.
Yeah, fine.
Fine. That man, fine.
Fine. Fine his ass. Yeah, it's also funny that Isiah Thomas is like, if I were the GM or the coach, like you were both.
Yeah.
And you were fired for bad reasons.
Yeah, really bad
Or
reasons.
good reasons.
I would say
bad things, but good reasons.
I would say Big Cat, which do you think is less professional? Working out shirtless,
Yeah.
or sexually harassing your entire staff?
Yeah, it's nah, man. LeBron should put a shirt on
Fine,
because that's how sexual harassment starts.
that's true.
LeBron walking around
He's-
without a shirt on.
He's sexually harassing Isiah Thomas.
Maybe that's why Isiah Thomas had such a reaction. He was like, if I were the GM, I'd sexually harass him right now.
Yeah, so you can.
And then they'd fire me.
You got to stop that problem before it starts because somebody's going to fuck him.
Oh man, it was so funny. He was so. Oh yeah, Skip Bayless obviously agreed with him. Loved it. Loved it that Isiah Thomas on NBA TV called out LeBron, said he should be fined for warming up shirtless. Took guts to spit that truth. Isiah has guts, and you certainly can't dismiss Isiah as just another old school Jordan guy. That is true. He does hate Michael Jordan.
He hates Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's definitely old school.
Yeah. Oh, but I love the part where Isiah Thomas says, and I like LeBron because I've said the same thing. I know that as a hater when you're like, I mean, I just did it where I was like, I was happy for Rory. That's not real. You just say that. That's a real hater.
Also, in Skip's mind, the only reason that you could hate LeBron is if you're just supremely in love with Michael Jordan.
Yes.
That's why
yes.
he's like, I love this.
It's as binary as it gets.
Yeah. What do
are-
you think about the Knicks?
They're not gonna go anywhere.
I think I think they'll win a series.
They could lose to the Pistons. Knicks fans, I feel like, are down bad right now on this team. They're not very happy because they're like still. It does feel like they're still away from the Celtics and the Cavs, right?
Far away.
Yeah. We also had Stan Van Gundy. Did you see that? He called out Philly and New York. He said fair weather fans. He said they're passionate. Someone asked him, like, what do you think about the love affair with the Knicks and the fans and their team? He said, well, they're passionate. Love affair? I don't know. Love affair when they're playing well and hate affair when they're not playing well. The Knicks fans and the Philly fans, they're front-running fans. They're in love with their team when things are going well, but they'll boo their team off the floor when they're not playing well. That's not a crowd that's focused on lifting you up.
Bad sports towns.
Pussy.
I couldn't disagree more. Living in New York for whatever we did, 6-7 years, Knicks fans love their team. They just fucking they want them to be good. And
Knicks fans were nowhere to be found until the Bing Bong team.
They always sold out at MSG.
Yeah, but like they weren't vocal. Like it was once those Bing Bong side talk or whatever videos started coming out.
Oh, I think Knicks fans
series,
are very passionate.
That was like 2 years before we left. Before that, they were nowhere to be found.
Yeah, but there's also a difference between the Knicks fans that can afford tickets to go to every Knicks game and then the average Knicks fan.
I think
it's like
Knicks
so
fans
expensive. I think Knicks fans
are very passionate.
They really care. Also, what Stan Van Gundy is describing, that's just fans.
Yeah.
Like what would be a good sports town then? A team that loves their shitty
Oklahoma
ass
City.
teams. Even when there's that's true.
Oklahoma City.
When
They
it's the only game
still
in
put
town.
on the shirt. They still put on the shirt.
But they're good.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that, like, in years when they haven't been good, they still put on the shirt.
But that's all they got.
I know.
That's the only thing they have in
I know.
Oklahoma City. If there's other sports, like if the Sixers, who are 30 games under 500 in
Yikes.
March,
Was that true?
I don't know. I hope so. But would you rather go to that game or the Phillies that are playing right next door that are going to be competing for the World Series?
Sounds
this
like
year?
a fair weather fan.
At the bank.
But like, what do you? What
No,
would
I
you
agree. I
rather
agree
go
with you.
to?
It's a dumb. I don't understand. I also think this is partially because his brother coached there.
Yeah. Also in Philly, they boo you, but then if they realize that they've booed you and gone too far, they'll sarcastically cheer for you to try to make you better.
Wasn't sarcastic.
It was.
It was. It was at
sarcastic.
first. It was at first.
Nope.
But then it worked.
Wrong.
Simulate the lottery one time, Max.
Good call. Good call. We should go.
Yeah. Agreed. How much?
I'm excited for the NBA Plus. We will have
gotta
an
go.
expert on to break it down.
There we go.
you got it.
Cooper flag.
Give us a best of 7. So Washington gets the first pick on one of them.
Okay.
So we're gonna do this
7.
a million times.
No, 7
best of
times.
7. We'll see who
It's
gets-
just who gets the most.
Oh,
Oh, Philly gets it 1-1.
oh,
Philly,
It's up
2-1.
to-
This is crazy.
How
that
is this possible?
We've done this 3 times. We've only had Philly and Washington.
Philly 3-1.
Oh my
God.
God.
I swear to
Oh,
God.
man. Utah.
How many
Keep
times
going.
is that?
Keep going. Just keep going. Washington,
Washington.
3-2. We'll just
3-2.
do it till one of you gets 4.
Okay.
Brooklyn. Philly. 4-2.
4-2. Damn.
4-2.
That was
That's what are the odds of that happening?
very low.
You guys have the 10% shot at it?
Yes.
It's gonna be such bullshit if the Sixers get Cooper flag.
That would
I'm
be
gonna be so
so
mad. I'm
awesome.
gonna hate the fuck out of it.
That'd be such
You're gonna see me
bullshit.
flip instantly.
That'd be such.
You guys are
bullshit.
building Duke 2.0.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
true.
I
Jared
said it.
McCain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
he
said
said
it.
it.
I said it.
He said
Okay.
it.
I like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Memes said you pass on Tatum. You'd like that, Hank. They did throw that in there.
Great call.
Marco
Wait,
Fulcher.
Memes, you got to get your mic on for that.
Memes, that was fire.
That was so fire. You got to get your mic on.
Memes
for
hates
that.
JJ.
Should we talk about Nico at Tennessee a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about it. College sports. It was put into quite the turmoil on Saturday morning.
Well,
I had no idea. I knew we were going to talk about Sunday. I haven't followed this story at all. I've just seen so many people saying Nico this, Nico that, Nico this, Nico that.
There's so much pearl clutching about what this means for the sport.
But
Like
we
everyone's
should back
freaking
up
out.
a little because
yeah. So Nico got a shitload of money from the collective at the University of Tennessee to go to school at Tennessee. He was the number
Yes.
one recruited quarterback. They got him. They were pumped that they got him because can't miss prospect. Tom Fernelli, your best friend Hank, was sitting on that couch and said Nico for Heisman before the season started.
I bet it. He did not win.
It did not work because turns out he didn't play well at all against any good schools. He beat up on the trash cans, and then he was like a very average to slightly below average quarterback in SEC play. Then his dad or his uncle, a family member, I forget which one, a family member goes back to UT and says, hey, price of the bag just went up. I know you're paying, what, $2 million?
It was $2.5 million, and then they wanted $4 million.
They wanted $4 million. So they said price of the bag just went up to keep Nico. Got to pay $4 million now because there's other schools that would pay that. And Tennessee was like, we're not going to talk about that right now. We're still in the season. In fact, it was the week of their playoff game that they had against Ohio State, right? That he was actively shopping himself allegedly to other teams. Then he does a holdout. So he doesn't go to practice, and he's holding out from team activities.
This is after the playoff game.
After
The spring game.
Yeah.
The spring game was Saturday, and there was rumors that this was happening. And Tennessee fans, now I consider myself a Vault for life from winning national championships with Doug's in Knoxville. Tennessee fans maybe weren't doing the best this week when there were reports. I think Ari Wasserman had something. I think someone else had some, on 3 Network had reports that this was happening, and Tennessee fans were attacking those reporters and being like, this is bullshit. You're just making this up. Turns out it was all true. He skipped the practice on Friday and then didn't show to the spring game on Saturday, and it's over.
Yeah, so what Tennessee did was actually smart. They came out and they said, we're moving on from Nico.
Yeah.
Before Nico had a chance to be like, I've entered the transfer portal.
He wasn't good enough to get $1.5 million raise. Like, if he had been a no doubt guy, I think Tennessee would have paid him.
Probably.
I think they would have been like, hey, if he was Arch Manning, if he was someone who has, like, you have to keep him on your team because you have these title chances, I don't think he proved that. And they're like, all right, go. And now
the playoff, it sounded like.
But Nico, well, their defense is really good. Nico, I think, is getting bad advice from his dad is his agent, which also complicates things because when your dad is your agent, the one thing that your dad doesn't have to do, he's not representing other people. So he doesn't have to act in good faith in any of the negotiations. He could basically say, I'm going to burn this school because guess what? I don't have any other clients that when I come back around asking for money, they can't be like, hey, you burned me that time. So his dad's his agent. His dad was like trying to get him more money. I think it's short-sighted because Nico, if he had a really good year in Josh Heupel's offense, could be a high draft pick, make a lot of money. Instead, now he's going to have to go somewhere else, learn a whole new offense, learn new personnel in a short window.
Yeah, that's the thing. He is he's not good enough to get a raise from Tennessee up to $4 million. But there's probably another school out there that's willing to throw a bag at him.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
say, let's see. So he's going to get a raise. It's going to work out like financially okay for him this year. But Big Cat's right. Like Tennessee is probably the best place he could be if he's thinking about where he wants to get drafted in the future.
And it's also, this is why I feel like this is all eventually going to get sorted out one way or another. Because my theory has always been that, like, eventually these rich guys and NIL and the collectives are going to be sick of paying millions and millions of dollars to 18-year-olds that might not pan out. And this is kind of what happened here because Nico, they were like, no, we're not going to pay another $1.5 million. So the QB class of 2023, these are the top 8 guys. Arch Manning, still at Texas. Nico, now in the transfer portal. Dante Moore started at UCLA, Oregon. Jackson Arnold started Oklahoma, now Auburn. Malachi Nelson, remember he was like a can't miss, USC. Now he's at UTEP. Jaden Rashada started at ASU. Now he's in the portal. Aiden Childs started at Washington State. Now, Oregon State. Now at Michigan State. And Austin Mack started at Washington. Now at Alabama. Like, it's hard to predict if these guys are going to be good.
Yeah.
And it's hard to give $2.5 million to a guy who might be like, yeah, I'm going to go somewhere else.
It's a system problem. The
Right.
problem is like with basically no rules whatsoever. So of course this type of shit is going to happen. And when you gamble on like a 5-star recruit out of high school, they don't always hit. Except now, guess what? Now you're tying a bunch of money to that
Right.
person, and then when they leave, now you're pissed off because it's like, oh shit, I was told that I had to pay $1 million to get this kid to go to my favorite school,
Yeah.
so I could watch him play. Then he sucked, and now I feel like I just wasted $1 million. So of course the people that are funding it are going to be like, I don't want to pay for that anymore. let's try to get somebody in the portal that's going to come here. He fucked over the team.
Yeah.
Because the team had a plan. Like, they thought that Nico might be going as early as December of last year. Because they were starting to hear these like things about like Nico is unhappy, he's going to want more money. So they were going to try to recruit other quarterbacks, but those other quarterbacks wouldn't go to school there if Nico was still the quarterback, because they're like, this guy's going to start ahead of me for a year, maybe 2 years. So then they couldn't get their roster in order for next season because they thought Nico was coming back. And then Nico's like, actually, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah. Did you hear the rumor? Shout out Dan Lanning, ride or die guy. Like, good guy. The rumor was that he was the one who tipped off Josh Heupel, was like, hey, Nico's dad's trying to get him to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, and told him that. And that's how Tennessee found out. I think it's unfortunate because I am very much in favor of the kids getting paid, and they should get paid because they're bringing in billions of dollars, and it's so stupid it took this long. But I just like, this is a situation where I think he's getting bad advice, and Josh Heupel's a really good offensive coach. And to have do this for $1.5 million when the alternative is possibly staying at Tennessee, doing really well under Josh Heupel, and your third year in the system, second year playing in the system, and then maybe getting drafted high, there's a lot more money that way.
Yeah.
And now you don't know. I mean, it could all turn out. He could be fine. But I also think that if you're a Tennessee fan, you shouldn't worry because Josh Heupel's a really good coach. And it's also kind of good showing that you have, like, you're not going to, in future negotiations, you're not going to just placate everyone.
Turns out 1 year free agency kind of sucks as a fan.
We need 2-year contracts.
Yeah, it's good for the players in terms of short term. They're able to bounce around where they want. If they think a different school is good for them, they get paid a shitload of money. It's not always the best thing to transfer, but that option's there, which is a good thing. But as a fan, it fucking sucks.
Right.
It really sucks. Eventually, I think that they should have trades. If you're going to have holdouts, we got to have trades now. Do you think we'll ever get to a point where we have a college football draft?
Well, I think
because that would rock.
Trades would be cool. I think it should be like a soccer system where if you go from a smaller school to a bigger school, the bigger school has to pay money to the smaller school.
I like that.
Loan system.
I thought
so
you
the
meant
smaller schools can actually start making money off of this.
I thought you meant like youth academies, like
No.
University of Tennessee Middle School.
Yeah, no,
but you recruit guys to go there when they're 11.
But like college basketball specifically, like there's a lot of the mid majors or smaller get rated for their talent for their seniors. Why shouldn't the Power Fives pay those schools a fee to get their player?
Yeah, I think
like that would be awesome.
Good. It will never happen. A draft will never happen for college football, but it would just be funny to think about it happening.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Nico. It was just crazy college football. And we're actually like Tennessee had their spring game. We're losing spring games. Spring games are going to be. I bet you in a couple of years there'll be no spring games.
Also, Hank, did you hear this one? Did you know his name? It's Iamaleava.
Mm-hmm. That's his last name.
Nico Iamaleava.
Iamaleava.
Yeah.
It's not Amastea. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time.
Also,
that's good. That's one of yours.
That's literally everyone.
Yeah, and then someone also, a fan had on his jersey, he put tape over it and said, "I'm a bitch." That was pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah, that was quick work.
Hank, the day that he signed with Tennessee, everybody that didn't get him made that joke immediately.
Also, Tennessee has a little bit, a tiny bit to, they're a tiny bit to blame, or they shouldn't be a surprise because he prioritized money from the get-go.
Yeah.
So you can't be shocked when he prioritizes money again.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole reason he went to Tennessee was like they offered him the most amount of money and that's how it worked and that's fine. But then when he turns around, he's like, I want more money. You can't be like, oh, I can't believe he did this. I thought he loved Knoxville.
Yeah.
As a journalist, it's fucked up that their fans were running out the journalists.
There was a little bit. I mean, look, if you're a fan, you don't want it to be true.
I think
the
there were a lot
reporting
of,
was right.
Maybe I'm just biased because of the Tennessee fans that I know. There's more than one probably. But the writing's been on the wall that Nico was probably going to try to rake him over the coals.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely in the Big T knew.
He knew.
Okay. Let's do Who's Back of the Week, and then we will get to SVP. Who's Back of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Truly Unruly. We love Truly Unruly. It's official hard seltzer. Pardon my take. Truly Unruly Lemonade combines the high alc fun of Truly Unruly with everyone's favorite lemonade. Level up your lemonade. 8% ABV, 100% delicious. 4 supercharged lemonade flavors. Bumpin' Blue Raz, OG Original Lemonade, Punched Up Pineapple, Wild Pink. It's the official hard seltzer. Pardon my take. Find Truly Unruly Lemonade at a store near you or visit trulyhardseltzer.com. We love Truly. We're getting unruly this summer with the lemonade. Again, 4 supercharged lemonade flavors. Bumpin' Blue Raz, OG Original Lemonade, Punched Up Pineapple, and Wild Pink. I like the Wild Pink. Level up your lemonade. 8% ABV, 100% delicious. trulyhardseltzer.com. Find Truly Unruly Lemonade at a store near you. Visit trulyhardseltzer.com. All right, who's back of the week? Hank.
My who's back of the week, I got a couple.
All right.
Oh, is it Paddy the Baddy starting with that?
Yeah,
I hear that.
first one.
I hear that accent.
Oh, Paddy the Baddy. Oh, Paddy the Baddy.
Dude, he's awesome.
He's ripped.
Like, and
he
mean,
looked so much like he looked twice as jacked and strong as when he was first introduced to the world.
and more skilled. Like,
Yeah.
when I say he's awesome, we all knew he was awesome. He's an awesome dude. But I feel like he's gotten way better at fighting.
He said that he doesn't like before the very funny classic video when he would just bulk up, eat whatever the fuck you want, and then cut at the very last minute. He actually just stays in shape now and like eats healthy and trains correctly, which shocking. Like it's working for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he fucked him up.
Good for him. I love watching Paddy fight too.
Yeah.
And then he
was
got
awesome.
into like a little bit of a shouting match afterwards too.
Yeah, with Colby Covington.
Where he didn't really shout. He was just like, "Okay, dude.
Yeah.
Okay."
And
He
we
would
like
beat the-
Michael Chandler, too.
He would beat the fuck out of Colby Covington.
That part sucks.
He slapped Shane.
Oh, yeah. At beer.
I didn't know that till
Olympics.
tonight.
Yeah. He also...
He was the man at Beer Olympics.
He was the man at Beer Olympics because I remember I was just standing with our friend Chris O'Connor, and I just was like, I was like, "Hey Chandler, Chris O'Connor says he can make you tap," and then he just put him in our bar right away, and it was awesome. He's the man. But yeah, Paddy.
My other who's back of the week is dunking.
Oh,
Whoa,
You're gonna
Are
dunk?
you gonna dunk?
I'm going to host a dunk contest.
Oh,
that's kind of weird that you'd be hosting a contest for something that you can't do.
Yet.
those who can't do teach.
It's also
Or
on,
judge.
It's also
Judge. Well, yeah, definitely judge.
it's KFC Dunkin' Challenge. We have a dunk contest. We have 4 legitimate dunkers coming to the office this week on Wednesday. It's exciting. I feel like last week was an exciting week in the office, and low key we got another exciting one on Wednesday.
You getting any tips from him?
Get any tips from them? Yeah, I'm gonna ask them what they
Pick
got.
their brains a
Love
little bit.
Low key.
No, it's gonna be high. It's gonna be pretty
It's gonna be
high
high key?
It's gonna be exciting. I mean,
High key, low key.
we got flyers coming in the office.
Love that.
Very cool.
Me, Hannah Montoya, Wall, and Gilly. Judging.
Hell yes. Oh, they're coming
Yeah,
on Wednesday.
yeah.
Or was the
We
winner
should get
get?
them on the show.
$2,500.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay. PFT.
My who's back of the week is takes. Fucking takes are back.
You just got stopped in your track.
I got dead stopped in my tracks right before we got started taping this segment. I have never even conceived of a take this hot in my
Wow.
brain.
Hey,
This is
PFT
high
literally,
praise.
while we were sitting here, he just goes, "Oh my god, oh my god."
I go, oh my God. And then you guys were like, what? And I go, this tape.
We might have been recording that moment as
Good.
well.
Let's finish this.
Just in case. What? This is a great fucking take.
I love when PFT really respects a take.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Put it in.
Bookmark it for take of the decade, maybe.
I can't even fathom
I'm
what
excited.
sport.
the
or
fact
just
that
in
it
general
hasn't
take
done
this could be about.
it hasn't done big numbers yet, but I mean, I don't understand that. It's insane, even coming from the guy that it's coming from, Greg Doyle.
Oh,
Greg Doyle from the Indy
I'm
Star
blocked.
just dropped a column. The internet. This is the end of the internet. I don't
Okay.
think we can go any further than this. All right, here we go. Here's the post. Masters contender Bryson DeChambeau accepted $125 million from the alleged backers of 9/11. Quarterback Nico Iamaleava sought additional millions from Tennessee. Which of these is okay with you? and why. That's the post. Then you open it up, and it is a column that is heaping equal amounts of judgment on both Bryson DeChambeau and Nico.
Okay.
Like they're both the same thing.
Right.
Can we talk about something serious without getting snagged by politics or race? Yeah, dumb question. That's always a great way to start out your article, is to like ask a rhetorical question and then answer it saying that you shouldn't be doing this column.
He loves to do those questions of himself.
No chance of that. Not for society as a whole anyway, but how about you? How about me? Can the two of us discuss the greed of two very different Americans and the very different societal reaction to that greed? Can we talk about Nico and Bryson? Can we do it without losing our mind? Can we do it without losing our soul? Can we agree that one size, as it relates to our reaction to their greed, should fit both gentlemen? Both have shamelessly chased the almighty dollar. Nico decided $2 million in NIL wasn't enough to play quarterback for Tennessee, 1 year after the state's attorney general fought for and won his right to cash in so richly. Shame on Nico.
Yeah.
The state's attorney has he no respect for the effort and the days of paperwork that the state's attorney did? DeChambeau chose to take $125 million from the Saudi Arabian government, which is believed to have funded the 9/11 attack on U.S. soil. Only one has been largely vilified. No, not the guy bought off by the Saudis. No, I think I think as a society, I can say this 24 years since it happened, we've come to the conclusion that 9/11 was bad.
Well, not only that, but we also all the live guys got vilified hard for a while.
Yeah.
Like
that's like all we
really
talked
hard.
about.
Yeah.
We talked about the entire anyways,
like a solid year.
I'm not going to read this column, but somehow in Greg Doyle's brain, society has decided that 9/11 wasn't that bad and that Nico is worse than 9/11.
Oh, you miss he says go Bryson. But the voice of public opinion has been heard on both gentlemen, and overwhelmingly it sounds like this. Go Bryson. Go to heck, Nico.
Sir, a second $1 million has been awarded to Nico for attending the University of Tennessee.
Go to heck, Nico. This is also just a very dated live is bad take.
Yeah.
Like he's a year and a half behind. Been like, hey, why isn't anyone talking about these live guys?
Does he mention the merger?
No, he does not
Like
mention
the fact that PGA has come
yeah.
completely around and to the point of merging with it?
Right. That's like if American Airlines was like, MBS, let's talk turkey here. I'd like to do a frequent flyer mile.
This is such a weird. I feel like this article was written just for Henry Lockwood.
This article was,
being like a live head who hates Rory.
No, what do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like
I've renounced.
Yeah, remember, he unlived
forgot.
himself.
You have unlived yourself.
So my other real Who's Back of the Week is Kidney Stones. We are the number one kidney stone podcast in the United States. Big Cat has been, you've had 2 bouts with the Stones, right?
2 bouts has been.
How many stones total?
I had 1, and then the last time was 4, 1 that I passed, 3 that I think are just chilling. And that was like in the fall.
And so I had my first bout right after you had your first bout.
Yep.
I had a baker's dozen inside me at that point.
We're very synced up.
I had 13 kidney stones in my system in like 2018. The first one really hurt badly to pass. The second and third, I felt them. They weren't nearly as bad. And then I just kind of forgot about them and didn't follow up with a urologist and figured it would all work its way out. Saturday, I'm sitting on my couch. I'm helping Blake, who's recovering from his ACL surgery, quite nicely. He's doing a great job. He did poop in the bed because he was super relaxed after the surgery, but that's fine. He's a good boy. So I was relaxing in my living room. It was about 6 p.m. yesterday, and I started to get this bad pain, but it's not the same as the first one that I got. This one was directly located on my nuts. In fact, one nut in particular. So I was like, why does my nut hurt so bad? And it got worse, and then it got way worse, and then I felt like I was going to pass out and throw up. Started sweating. I was like,
did you just have like permanent, like you feel like you just got hit in the nut?
That's it. It feels like I got kicked in the nuts all the time.
But it just didn't go away.
It got worse. To the point where like I was about to pass out from it. So I was like, I got to go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital, and then on my intake into the hospital, the lady was like, we need to get you fast passed to the back to do an ultrasound on you to make sure you don't have twisted testicles. Sometimes you hear about like, I feel like some baseball players have had that. So then they do an ultrasound on my balls, which is it's a very strange thing. And they're like, if it's a twisted testicle, we might have to remove the testicle, but we might be able to save it. So now I'm like, fuck, am I going to walk out of the bathroom one ball lighter? Which I personally would be okay with, because I always feel like it's like when you look at flowers, one rose looks very pretty in a vase. 2 roses looks awful.
Yeah, it's off.
3 roses looks great.
Yeah.
But I got 2 nuts. I'd be okay with having 1 nut. I could make that work.
Also would have been
Yellow
hilarious.
wristbands for everyone in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been hilarious for the show. Like, just like, you know,
I'm the guy with 1
like
ball.
Have
Dan-
some balls, and you could be like, all right, well, too soon.
Yeah, or like Dan
Yeah.
Campbell goes for it on 4th down, and PFD has to do the South Park, but it's only 1 ball.
Oh, memes would get so much mileage out of that. Yeah. So so then I'm in the hospital thinking I might be walking out of here a ball lighter, and they do the ultrasound. They tell me good news. It's not the twisted testicle. By the way, I don't recommend anybody get an ultrasound done on their nuts, because it's very awkward, especially when the technician's a female.
They rub that thing.
Yeah, they do the like warm gel, and they had me get in this weird position, and it was a whole thing. Anyway, so then I go back into the room, and I don't know what's going on, but my nuts keep hurting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And eventually I get a CAT scan done after like 4 hours in the hospital, feeling awful. And it's another kidney stone, which is, at that point, I was pumped. I was fucking pumped. It was a kidney stone, and I wasn't going to have to get a nut removed. So, yeah, I've been in I was in excruciating pain from like 5 p.m. till 3 a.m. on Saturday.
It's the worst.
Now I'm good until like an hour ago, and it's coming back, and it's bad. So, yeah, hopefully I piss this thing out tonight. I've been trying to piss while we podcast today, and nothing's coming out.
It's brutal. And when you say, because I had the same thing going to the hospital, when they tell you that it's a kidney stone, it sounds stupid to be like, thank God, but a kidney stone symptoms are basically you're about to die.
Yeah.
Like your internal organs are about to explode. So when they're like, oh no, you're just a fat piece of shit that probably eats like shit, and you have a bunch of salt that formed in your kidney, you'll piss it out in a few days. You're like, thank you, Lord. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah. At the time, I was like, I'll change anything. I'll do anything.
Yeah.
God, just get me out of the hospital. And then they're like, it's a kidney stone. You just maybe need to have like 1 less bowl of ramen per week. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no deal.
Yeah.
No deal. So yeah, we've been through this before. I'll be able to piss this thing out. I got multiple kidney stones, they said, but I'm okay. I'm fine with it. It could have been a lot worse.
So this technically means I'm back on the clock.
You're back on the
Because we have
clock
literally
again.
gone, I had a kidney stone, you had a kidney stone, I had a kidney stone, you had a kidney stone. So I'm back. It's my turn.
Yeah, they said
They got a
multiple.
whiteboard in the studio.
Yeah.
Well, do you think it has anything to do
0
with the
days
fact?
since the last stone has passed.
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that before every podcast we dock?
No, probably
Okay.
not.
All right.
Because if anything, well, yeah, that's maybe how it gets passed back and forth. We just piss it up each other's dicks all the time. But yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
it's okay. It's a lot of pain, but it's not nearly as much pain as I was in on Saturday. But didn't miss
Your household is snake bitten. You guys are like a playoff team, just
Playing
one week after,
PFT,
one week
just
after another, just
rolling
marquee
around.
players getting injured, and all of a sudden the season's just over.
Yeah, well, good news is we're getting an impact player back. The El Camino's up and running.
Oh, shit. hell
yeah!
yes.
So now we're living high.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was not a fun experience on Saturday. I will not be changing anything likely about my diet.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
no,
I am
you
who I
can't.
am at this stage. What am I going to do?
can't.
Stop eating salt?
You
Salt
can't.
is the best thing that you can eat.
You can't.
You can't do it. So Hank, you're actually on the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought about that?
No.
I'm before Hank. Who are you?
Yeah, that's probably true.
I mean, like, I went to, after my kidney stone, I went to get a physical because I was like, oh, I should probably get this checked out. Healthy as could be.
I love that.
I mean, a little overweight, but everything else. My wife was actually mad at me that my cholesterol was normal. She's like, this is not right. Like, you eat like shit.
Run the test again.
Like,
I
this
did the
is
same
bullshit. Like, you can't be healthy when, like, everyone else has to, like, do all these things to make sure they stay healthy. Sorry. What are you gonna do?
It's a funny thing when the doctor comes back in and they read your labs for you and they're like, yeah, it turns out your blood work is all excellent.
Yeah.
But you eat like a motherfucker and you've got gravel forming inside of your body. So
It was just like, yeah, you could lose probably 15, 20, 25 pounds, but everything else good.
Is there a main cause for kidney stones? Is it salt?
there's a couple things. It could be salt.
Dehydration.
It could be dehydration. It could be somewhat hereditary.
There's one that I think probably is my fault. Coffee.
Yeah.
That could be. It's anything that's like that. That is. What is it? A diuretic? No.
Yeah, diuretic. Well,
Yeah.
the nurse told me like multiple caffeine drinks a day will do it. I was like, well, yeah, I do
That's
that
every day.
And she was like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's a different type of pain. Big Cat, you were very well experienced in it. It's the type of pain that people say I wouldn't wish on my biggest enemy. I disagree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
This is the exact thing that you should be wishing on your worst enemy.
All my enemies, I want to have this.
Exactly. I want them. Yeah, Hank. Yes.
It feels like your stomach and back are going to explode at the same time.
Also, the doctor, again for the second time, told me that this pain is worse than childbirth, which I will not be saying to any women.
But it's true.
But it is true.
Yeah.
And so I've given birth to like 13. I'm as tough as Philip Rivers' wife.
Kind of good lead into my question. Probably a dumb question. Can women get kidney stones?
Yes, they
Yes.
can.
Okay.
And they can be. That's just as painful.
But it's gross when they do it. It's manly when we do it.
Yeah. When I stand at the
That's a
toilet
little
and
different.
scream,
Yeah.
that's
the difference.
man type shit, alpha shit.
Yeah. I think it's more common for men.
Yeah, because we
just go
we're stupid.
harder in life.
Yeah.
We just fucking live on the edges.
See, I can't wait for the second that I'm taking a piss and I hear the ping in the back of the toilet. It's gonna
You
be
need to get
great.
you need to get the thing.
I got to get the strainer. They didn't give me the strainer.
Yeah, you feel
to
like
go home with.
a gold rush guy. I would just piss into the strainer.
I did gain a whole new appreciation though for ER staff.
Yeah.
Because I had to sit out in the main lobby for not even that long because they rushed me back to do the ultrasound, but I was there for like 5 or 6 minutes, and the people that are in an emergency room at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. on a Saturday night, God bless those that have to corral them and get them to communicate.
Yeah. It's a hell of a job. All right, my Who's Back the Week, I have 2. The first is going to be, guys lying about their weight. Or maybe not. You see DT, President Trump? Mm-hmm. He's actually lost weight. He's 224.
224.
6'3", 224.
So that's
awesome.
That's RG3.
Yeah.
Maybe DK Metcalf.
I love it. And I know people like getting a whole tizzy about it. They're like, this is bullshit. Listen, if your doctor says it, then it's the truth. Just like my blood work's fine. What do I fucking care?
I think that he does that now. Like at first, I think he was lying about it. Now he lies about it because he knows that people are going to make fun of him for lying about it.
Yeah. Because he was 230 and now he's 224.
Yeah.
The Elon, there was like a article about Elon and how he's like a dumpster fire, and people were accusing him of drugs, and someone from SpaceX was like, no, he actually gets randomly drug tested at SpaceX, passes everyone.
That's good.
Yeah. Who runs SpaceX?
Elon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his drug test is like, yep,
Yeah.
all of them.
Good.
That dude loves ketamine.
And then my other Who's Back is our good friend and colleague, Coach John Gruden, because I took him up to Madison this weekend, and I gotta say, I was smiling ear to ear, not only because I got to see, one of my favorite teams up close. We went to spring practice, but seeing Coach Gruden in his natural habitat. The Wisconsin posted his speech to the team, which was awesome, but there were so many behind the scenes hilarious moments where like I had to keep like getting him to like we were trying to go somewhere, and I had to keep like coming back and grabbing him because he would talk to like the tight ends coach, and he'd just be like, "What are you running? Like what formations? What's your language?" Like, and just sit there and talk to him. It was there's something that happens when you like go to like the park or you go somewhere with your little kids, and if you take your eye off them for a minute, they could be like on the other side of the park. And you're like, "Holy shit, how'd they get over there? They saw a bird or they saw a squirrel." That kept on happening at practice where I was standing on the sideline and I'd look up and I'd be like, "Where's Coach Gruden?" And he would just be standing next to Coach Fickle, like with a call sheet, ready to call a play. And it was just the best. He had the power stance.
That's like vacation for him.
Yeah.
He's just going to visit a practice and just talking about ball.
The best was we went up to a kid who was visiting, and he was I don't know, like I think he was a sophomore. And he was visiting Wisconsin, and he was a running back, and just Coach Gruden just went up to him. He's like, "How deep you line up?" He's like, "I'm the quarterback. Show me how deep you line up." And that was it. That was our whole conversation. It's like, all right, good to meet you. He just wanted to know. How deep they're lining up in high school football.
He looks so happy just being around a football team.
Yeah.
And I felt a little bit hurt. I did, because We've lined up in formation for him here at work.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that same spunk in his step when he sees us do it as he does an actual collegiate Division I football team. It was a little bit hurtful.
Yeah. But he was smiling. He was so happy. He was so happy. We were just like, he was smiling the whole time. It's great to see him in it. I don't want to lose him, but I also, when you see
Where he
someone,
belongs,
when
yeah.
you see someone that happy in that habitat, you're just like,
It's like if you got a dog like a border collie and you live in an apartment and your dog loves you. You have a great time with the dog. And then you take the dog out to like an open air dog park with maybe some wildlife run around, and you just see it immediately start to like hurt him. And you're like, that's what you should be doing, man.
yeah.
Well, it's like he needs to be leading men.
Yeah,
like it's hard.
exactly.
It's hard to be a leader of big, strong alpha men, and he is like in every room he's in, he is the alpha.
Yeah.
And that's like hard to come by, and that's where where he belongs.
Yeah. And it's also just funny watching like football guys. The amount of connections they have is just insane. Like he was just there was a guy he had coached who was, who he saw. There's a guy whose son he coached the kid's dad, like all this stuff. And it's just like football guys just have just connections everywhere.
I love the speech that he gave too. I feel like he listened to Meek Mill like a month ago, and he just wrote down, I'm going to talk about dreams.
Well,
and
that's
nightmares.
his speech from the Raiders Hard Knocks. He like kind of put all his speeches together, just being like The Rock, we pound that rock. You pound that rock, it's not gonna break. You pound that rock, it's not gonna break. All of us pound that rock, that thing's gonna smash.
And everybody in the room was like, he's right.
Yes.
The coach is right.
10% from you, 4% from you,
2% from you.
Okay, number one, everybody has dreams. I mean, everybody's got dreams of winning the Big Ten, getting in the playoffs, getting a new NIL deal. Everybody has what? Dreams. I'm into nightmares. You guys got to end people's dreams. You understand that? Miami, Ohio's coming in here in a couple months. You end their dreams. Okay? And then you get on with the schedule. But everybody's got dreams. Now, it's your job to end those dreams and become a nightmare coming out of the tunnel. Yes? Yes, sir. Okay. Number two is there's a thing called the team. It's called the what? Team. The team. There's a lot of people, I think, in football now that aren't invested in the team. Are we clear on that? Yes, I want you to envision a big rock right here. The rock is the opponent. And if you pound that rock by yourself, that rock won't crack. If you pound a rock with them, that rock won't crack. And that rock is Michigan. That rock is Alabama. We all got to pound a what? Rock. We all got to pound a what? Rock. Okay, invest in this team. In these next couple weeks before spring practice goes away, invest in your teammates, man. Go out of your way to get to know each other and have a rock mentality. Point number 3 real quick is communication. Say it with me. It ain't good enough. It's not good enough anywhere. Coaches, we're not communicating good enough together. Players and coaches don't communicate good enough together. Yes? Every blown coverage, every big running play, there's a lack of what on defense? Communication. Recognize the set, make the call, and let's roll. Yeah? Yes, well, let's communicate better. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is this. What I've noticed is there's really good effort here. Really good. But there's a big difference between good and great. Are we clear on that? Yes, you get one shot at 2025. That's it. And as soon as you blink your eyes and open them, it's over. We got to do a better job, I think, of working together. Yes? Sir. I'm talking about our effort, our execution, our enthusiasm, and our intensity. You turn it up 4%, 2%, 8%, 10%, and that accumulation is going to turn us into a freaking nightmare. You guys dig it? Yes, sir. Do you guys believe in each other or not? Yes, sir. Go prove it. All right? Let's go, man. Let's have a great day. Let's go.
Oh, so pumped up. But yeah, it was great. All right, let's get to our interview with Scott Van Pelt, live from Augusta Airport. Always fun to catch up with him, talk some more Masters, talk some more Rory. Okay, before we do that, we got a couple ads.
SVP is going to be brought to you by our good friends at NASCAR. Talladega Superspeedway is NASCAR's biggest, baddest track, delivering heart-pounding action, pack racing thrills, keeps drivers 3 wide and bumper to bumper at 200 miles per hour. Playoff implications on the line, making every lap more intense. Unpredictable finishes mean anyone can take the checkered flag at Talladega. The fan experience is unmatched with camping, tailgating, and electric infield energy. Tickets are selling fast, so secure your spot now at NASCAR.com. Experience the rush at Talladega. Get your NASCAR tickets now for edge-of-your-seat action. Secure your seats today at NASCAR.com. SVP is also brought to you by our great friends over at Chime. There's a better way. You can build credit with money you set aside and avoid interest or expensive debt with Chime's Credit Builder Card. It's a secured credit card with no credit check or minimum deposit required. Start building credit with your everyday purchases and regular on-time payments, all with no annual fees. No interest or credit check at chime.com/PMT. With Chime, no annual fees, interest, or credit check to apply. Use it everywhere Visa credit cards are accepted. Build credit with money you set aside. Turn your everyday purchases and on-time payments into steps towards your financial goals with Chime's secured credit builder Visa credit card. Get started today at chime.com/PMT. That's chime.com/PMT. Feels like progress. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Chime credit account required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Late payment may negatively impact your credit score. Results may vary. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. And now here's SVP.
Okay, we now welcome on one of our best friends, a very, very special guest, live from Augusta, a tradition unlike any other, Scott Van Pelt from the Augusta airport after the Masters. And we've been doing this for, 6-7 years. Outside of the Tiger, this has got to be Tiger in 2019. This has got to be the best. I mean, this was an incredible, incredible Sunday. I don't even know where to start other than we all just sat there and watched it and was like, sports are the best. This is the best.
Perfectly said. Did you feel like you were going to vomit? I did.
Well, about that, you are technically talking to a room full of Rory haters. So we were very happy when this was all going down. Now, as haters, we already taped the beginning of the show. Basically what I said was sometimes as a hater, you got to tip your hat. And I was happy that he had to earn it in a way where he choked and then came back, and then he choked and then he came back, where it's like he did it. He really did it, and I was satisfied at the end of being like, if he's going to do it one way, I'd rather this than having him win by 6 strokes and have it be a laugher.
Well, you said it correctly. I mean, it was a roller coaster as he described it, and the thing that was nuts, and you try to put it in context, like for SportsCenter, our highlight, like our first pass at the highlight was 11 and a half minutes long. And that's to tell the story, like I think accurately and thoroughly, right? Where it's the DeChambeau, Rory bit, and like by the time it's over, like you forget that even happened.
Right.
DeChambeau's just kind of out there. And it started with like he throws up on himself in the first hole and he's behind after the second hole, and you're like, this is nuts. He's going to lose to this guy again. He's going to have to walk with him for 5 hours. This is going to be brutal. But then immediately he's back ahead, and you're like, oh, okay, here we go. But it almost felt like with Rory, for him to do it, that it was going to have to be this excruciating exercise where he would hit like the shot on 15, which is like the Sam Cassell meme, right? I mean, big brave bowls. And he swoops it around, but then you got to make that putt for eagle. Like Tiger makes that putt for eagle 100 times out of 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he doesn't. He just doesn't. And then you're like, wait, Rose has a birdie. Oh, my God, they're tied again. And now he hits the shot on 17, which is incredible. No one ever hits it close on 17 when they have to make birdie to take the lead. He does. Then he hits a perfect drive, and then that wedge on 18 is just you can't do that. And he does. And then there's that putt. And I didn't think he'd make it, and he didn't. And at that point, I'm thinking, this poor guy is going to have to live with this. And he's going to become Greg Norman. And someday he's going to be 50-something years old, and he won't be here. And we're going to wonder how that happened.
Right.
But then he hits the wedge in the playoff. That's a forever shot. Like it's a shot of a lifetime.
Yeah. Multiple shots.
You just described 2 of his shots of a lifetime today.
Yeah.
He had. Like, it was an incredible comeback for him. After it was over, you get to see a little behind the scenes, Scott. You get to see what's going on when they're not on camera. What was his mentality like? Did you see anything from him that showed relief, or what were his emotions?
100. I think what he was feeling, Patrick, was relief. I'm sorry.
If Dickie V calls me Patrick, my name's Patrick. That's just how it goes.
I've been waiting for weeks to say that. He said it. It was almost all relief. And the thing that Andy North described to me that I find amazing, but I guess I get it, is that when you do it, and Andy didn't win the Grand Slam, obviously, but he won a couple of majors, and he's like, you feel so much more relief than joy. And like when you saw him fall to his knees and you saw him walking and just it looked like he was like, I've seen that look before, but PFT, it was you handing me mushrooms in the wind. Like, he's just like, he's fucking like, oh. And you're thinking, man, I just can't imagine what he's trying to process in real time. And he admitted that this was a burden. This was a lot. He was carrying this around for 14 years. And everyone's asking, what are you going to do? And every year he's got to come put on a brave face and say, well, I feel like I'm ready. And then, it looks like it's his time, and then all of a sudden it's not, and then it is, and then it's not. And so, I'm waiting to see if I hear from Marty Smith, who's going to do the Sunday conversation with him tonight, to get any insight, like, is there any sort of home run soundbite that he'd give Marty, because they have got a great relationship. But I thought that it was so obvious that, sure, there's joy in there, and they're going to get to it, but clearly it was like, just thank God I did it, because if he didn't today,
right,
then it would have reasonably been like, it's just not meant to be.
It really was. Even as haters, like we said, it was still one of those moments when he finally sinks the putt to win it. It's like, man, this is cool, because you don't know. I mean, what's the stat? I think it's 2 times in the last 50 years we've had a career Grand Slam. You don't know how many times it's going to happen in your lifetime. And like, to put it like from your perspective of
right,
a golf aficionado, you've been to the Masters so many times, like career Grand Slam, like that's something really, really special.
Oh, I mean, I said it on Sports Center. Like you're in a group with people that are in black and white pictures that are
right,
gone from this earth, not forgotten, obviously, because the club is small. And it was really like one of the really cool things about this week is the people you cross paths with. And I actually got to spend some time Saturday night with Roger Federer, who is just couldn't be a greater guy. And I asked him, and I said, this is really wild to me. Like when you won in 2009 to beat to won the French Open to win the Grand Slam, it was the 6th guy, just like Rory. And Nadal had been beaten. That's the guy no one could beat, and he got beaten by some guy named Robin Soderling. All due respect to Robin, I could be an AWL. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know a lot about him. But like, that's the time where you have to do this, or it's not going to happen. And Fed said, "Yeah, man." I call him Fed. We're like, like that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, but you just have to remind yourself that this is what you do. I've done this, and just trust. I was like, yeah, but how do you sleep that night? He's like, not well. It's a lot. And Rory admitted he was nervous as hell this morning. And so to join this club, you're not just like when CBS put the graphic up, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't say to win the Masters. It says to win the career Grand Slam. And he knows that. And that's why he didn't hit the hole the first time, because the weight of that is just so immense.
Yeah, I was wondering how he was going to handle that. Being tied for playing in the final group going into Sunday. When you go home on Saturday, if you're Rory and you've got this history of blowing leads, what do you do because there's no chance that you're going to get a good night's sleep at that point, right? Like you almost have to knock yourself out. Be like, give me a sleeping pill at 7 p.m. because otherwise I'm going to be staying up. I'm not going to sleep at all. I'm going to come into the course feeling like shit the next morning. I can't imagine the night's sleep that he had and then the start that he had today and then to bounce back from that. I wonder what happened between holes 1 and 2, like how he managed to stop the slide at that moment. Did you hear anything about that?
No, I mean, he just the thing, and he didn't say this, but Andy did. Andy said, I think. Actually, he did say. He said it almost was like a jolt that woke me up, and all of a sudden, the weird thing about golf, I think we might have talked about this through the years, is that for whatever reason, leading is just not what anyone wants to do. It's almost like NASCAR. You'd rather draft off whoever until the last turn and then take the lead when it's over, because it's a lot to carry the lead. And the thing about the sleep that I get, I'm sure it wasn't easy, but the bigger issue is that it's such a long wait. You don't go off until 2:30 in the afternoon. It's like, what do you do all day?
Yeah.
Right.
You got a young daughter. She's up early, I'm sure. Like you get up, hang out, like wait. You could have breakfast, take a nap, work out, have lunch, and you still have 2 hours till you play. And all you can do is think about the end and what happens at the end and how do you get to that. And it takes all day to get there. And all you're doing is thinking. And so him falling behind after the second hole, you immediately saw what happens. He birdies 3, DeChambeau bogeys. He birdies 4, DeChambeau bogeys. And then you're like, oh, okay, cool. He's got a little bit of a gap here. And then he birdies 9 and 10, and you're like, we're off to the races. No, it was just never going to be easy. So, I mean, but I don't know. The days here tend to always be memorable. But like the back and forth and the playoff and the fact that it's Rose, I mean, the whole thing is just an incredible, incredible day of drama here. And I don't know. I'm still trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah, I said at the start of the show, it's the most schizophrenic 18 holes for Rory, where he had, I think his final tally was 6 birdies, 3 bogeys, and 2 double bogeys. The card was a disaster. There's just squares, circles, everywhere.
It does not look like a winning scorecard.
Right. Right. And so in 18, you just said that you kind of expected him to miss that first putt on 18 to go to the playoffs. So you thought in the moment, like, he's still got one more mountain to climb, where it's like he's still got one more, I want to say choke, but like it did feel like that, where it'd be 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
I did. Because it felt like it was that distance, and like the shadows show you every little bump and imperfection in these greens, which are basically perfect. And I'm sure that it must have looked a mile long. And the reason I thought that is not because I didn't think he was capable. It's just the weight of what it was. And he admitted it. And then you saw it with how he reacted after the fact. I mean, it was just this boulder on his back.
Yeah.
And that putt, like, as we're looking at it, and again, it's fun to watch with Andy, because he's like, this is actually it's an easier bunker shot because it's on an upslope, and like you get this up and down 7 or 8 out of 10 times for sure. Like, he should be close. And then as it runs out of steam, we both look at each other and are like, oh, this is in that range where, I mean, a normal human would poop their pants.
Yeah.
But like full on poop pants.
Yeah.
But he didn't poop his pants, but he didn't hit the hole much either. And you're like, oh my God. But to his credit, he said his caddy just said to him going back to the tee, you'd have taken this on Monday. If I told you Monday we'd be going back to the playoff on Sunday. And by the way, that's somebody that you want, and that's a foxhole guy right there.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, his caddy's known him forever since he was 7 years old. Yeah.
Big time foxhole guy there to be like, hey, we'd have taken as opposed to, hey, Bozo, we should be putting a jacket on right now, and you should be in the Butler cabin with Jim and Scotty and Chairman Ridley. Instead of that, like you give him an attaboy and say, look, we're good. And then he was.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, in the end, I suppose in some ways it just makes it more dramatic. Maybe it makes it more fulfilling, cathartic. I don't know. But he was an all-time player forever. But again, you join pictures, it's guys that aren't alive anymore in black and white pictures. Jack, Tiger, and me. Like, that's the club.
Right. It's
pretty good club.
It's pretty insane. And what about the shot on 15? I mean, can you put it in perspective? Because Nantz did say on the call, he said shot of a lifetime. It did feel like that was another one of those moments where he goes in the water and then he has that shot, and you're like, he's just battling this. And that was an incredible, incredible shot. But like you say, you're watching a lot of it with Andy North, Badger, no big deal. What put that shot into perspective and how hard that shot is.
Hold on, let me do this. Let me get it. Is that it?
Yeah, there we go. Oh, actually, keep the phone like that. That's perfect because it won't juggle around. Yeah.
So there you go. W for Wisconsin.
Yes.
It's a shot of a lifetime. But again, for it to be like the shot we talk about forever, you got to make the eagle, and then you don't go to a playoff, and then that's the shot we put. on video and roll forever. Instead, it'll be him on his knees just sobbing. But like, I thought he hit it too far left, but all that did, and again, Andy just gives such great context. He said when you're hitting a hook, it puts you in a position to, as he described, you're going to release the club because I can't technically describe it, but he just said that it benefited him to be hitting a hook. And as soon as he hit it, he's walking after it like he did yesterday.
Right.
And when Rory starts bouncing and the shoulders start bouncing down the fairway, that's when you know, like, oh shit, here we go. And I mean, when he stuffs it in there like that, like make the putt and it's curtains. It wasn't. But then the shot on 17 was just as good.
Yeah.
But then on 18, this is the roller coaster and it's sort of what he does. And as bad as the wedge on 18 was in regulation, the wedge in the playoff was, right up on the little slope there, pulls it back. And, if Rose makes the putt, do you think he makes the second one?
I don't know. I don't think so. Although that was more of a gimme. I agree with you that the initial shot that he had on 18, that is the worst distance to have to putt for a major championship from, because it's enough to make you think about. I would rather putt from like 2 feet behind that, because then you have that little a little aggressiveness in your mind. Like, I can make this. I can prove the haters wrong. When you're putting from like 4 feet, you're thinking, oh fuck, the haters might be right.
Yeah,
the entire time.
And it's kind of PT the distance that I can't even deliver the line without laughing. Like, that's how you know you're a dumbass, when you laugh at your own stupid
No,
joke.
it's good. It's good. Before we started taping, he called me PDF, which I'm very glad that he didn't say that.
That was going to be my last one, but I'm punting on the bit. I'm punting on the bit. You're 100% right, because it was like the distance at Pinehurst, and it's different because the last one on Pinehurst was downhill and it breaks left to right for a right-hander. That's the worst putt, because but it was in that distance where it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like the Rose putt is the perfect length, because you got to hit it. And the birdie putt he made, I'm talking in regulation, like you got to hit it, and he let it go. And by the way, he knew it was in. He had his hat off early and looked. That was a confident look from Rose. And he's an awesome guy who at 44 lost in the playoff twice here.
Yeah.
And if he would have won, it would have been an incredible story. But there wasn't one human rooting for him, because everyone here just wanted to see except the haters.
Yep.
Did you have a Rose future?
No, we didn't. We like the storylines, and Rory choking in that way would have been hilarious.
Yeah, I was happy. I was okay.
We tipped our cap. Like, all credit to him. I think the moment is incredible. He's an all-time golfer. I was like a little emotional watching him be emotional. But if you asked me during it, like we predicted on Friday, we said, we had Ryan Whitney on. He's like, if there's a 5-footer on 18, if he misses, he goes to a playoff. If he hits it, he's a Masters champion. What are you rooting for? I was like, absolutely playoff. 100%. And then it happened.
That said, I was rooting for him after he got into the playoff to win. But I'm not going to lie, I was pumped when he missed that putt, because it's like, number one, free golf. Number two, our dumb brains can continue on with the storyline of Rory can't win a big one at Augusta. I mean, you were there. What was the vibe like? Because when I was watching on TV, I got the sense as Rory was falling back and Rose was coming on, I got the sense that the patrons were a little bit excited to see maybe an epic collapse from Rory, and maybe, or at least have it be interesting at the end.
I hear what you. I think everyone's just like, oh, we get to stay and we get to watch more. And I think there's something to. It'll be cool to see a playoff, because it's that you just take what's the drama of the day and you add another layer we didn't know we were going to get. Mm-hmm. So that I'll give you. But like every time, and CBS did an awesome job showing it. Every time they would post on the leaderboard the score, and you saw Rory like double 13, and everyone's like. Oh, you saw like surrender Cobra, hands on head, like, oh no. And then when they post the birdie on 17, everyone goes nuts, because they know he's coming to this hole and we get to welcome him home and it's going to be great. And then he puts it in the bunker, and then they're like, you got to be kidding me, right? I mean, so the back and forth was like, the drama builds, but there was a lot of Rory chants, and they were wanting to see it. And then in the end they did. And again, I think it's not just, somebody wins the Masters every year. Like, no one's won the Grand Slam since Tiger, and that's been a long time. All stacked on top of another, and who it was, and because he had been through all these things. This is the guy that that more people than not on the grounds were absolutely behind.
And it was his day, and it is a great story. Do you think that Rory, this is like a Steve Young monkey off his back, where I know he obviously has been phenomenal recently in great form, but it had been 11 years. Do you think he's going to get hot here and you're going to see, another Masters, another major, where he just this is kind of breaking the valve or breaking the seal, so to speak?
100%. And I mean, I'm sure that he would say, well, I mean, I won at Pebble and I won the Players this year already. I won the Players before, but the counter to that is cool. You've got more money than you need anyway. And those tournaments ultimately in the grand scheme don't matter. And we count majors among the very best.
Right.
And while the wins before were great, this is the dam burst that now frees him up to be truly like, fuck it.
Right.
I'm going to go do think about it in a way where now no one can say anything to you. And someone says, hey, Rory, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You're coming off stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I just won the Masters and I'm good. I'm not house money. No, he's got a ton of runway in front of him. He could stack 3 or 4 more of these. Quail Hollow has won 4 times, which is where they go next. So I think we tend to have this recency bias where whoever wins, we say they might win a few more. But in Rory's case, unburdened from this, he could just let it rip forever. And if he's got nothing, what's the Joker line in The Dark Knight? You have nothing to threaten me with.
Right. And the way he
did
it too, like I really do think it would be different if he had run away from this. When that moment happens on 10, I believe, and he's 4 strokes ahead of Justin Rose, and you're like, all right, this is it. There's a coronation. But to have the ups and downs and the chokes and the comebacks, like he really did do it in a way that it feels like he just freed himself from everything.
I do think there's something to that. It'd be like if someone had a lead in a Super Bowl and then they blew it, but then they won it in overtime. It'd be like, it's almost like you won it twice. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then with Rory, it almost feels like he won it 3 times.
I know.
It's like he had it, then he blew it, then he takes the lead on 15, then he makes it on 17. It's almost like 4 times, whatever it is. All he needed was 1. He did it. And I don't know. I'm happy for him. Like I get that haters.
No, we're happy for him. Listen, we explained it, but like you have to, when you're watching golf, like you have guys you root for, guys you don't, and
that's okay.
Yeah, we don't.
How about Max? How about Max? Positive vibes only.
Our good friend Max.
Yes. Who's taking credit for this? Because this is the start of the championship DVD. We had him on first this week. Then you obviously did Wednesday with him. So who gets credit?
He said I was one of his. He said I was one of his favorites. And then I said, "Who do you like more?" And he's like, "Big Cat and PFT."
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So third.
Okay. All right. That's good. So yeah. So Max. Yeah. Incredible week for Max. Incredible week for. Hey, by the way, we were talking about this. Have you ever talked to the marker?
Yeah, he's McDermott. Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
Yeah, you can't. He can't talk to the media though. But like, is that not the coolest job ever?
He's a fantastic guy. He's very, very understated, and I know that he enjoyed himself. And it was a cool weekend for him.
It's unbelievable.
Wait, so he is talking to the media?
Oh,
there was no interview. There was no. I just know him. So
he talked to you.
Sounds like there might be an opening for the marker, Hank.
Hank's
we're trying to get Hank that gig.
Eyeing it.
No, but it does seem like a very cool job. Has he ever mentioned anything about how he shouldn't play too good because he doesn't want to undermine anybody's confidence out there?
It's actually kind of a fascinating concept. Like the story goes back, ironically enough, about the guy Jeff Knox that was the marker before the current guy that does it, and I believe that Google fact check me on this because I believe that he played with Rory one year.
Yes,
and the story went that they were like, all right, let's play it and see how it goes, and he beat Rory.
Yeah,
but the marker's there to just be like, look, I'm here to keep pace. If you want me to putt out, I will. If you don't, I won't. Like, whatever. I'm just here so that you – and it's actually Augusta National thinks of everything, and they don't want the player to be in a gigantic rush or feel compelled to have to hurry. Take your time. And so that's the job of the marker, who obviously is also a really good player. But, again, the story goes that, like, Knox and Rory played, and I think he beat him.
Yeah.
And so – worked out okay for Rory because I don't think the marker never won the Masters, and today Rory did. But yeah, I know he's an awesome dude, awesome guy.
He's a good vibes guy because we noted that Tom Kim and Brian Campbell had their best rounds this week when playing with the marker.
There you go.
Did we get any conclusion to the amateur that peed in Rays Creek? Is he in El Salvador? What's going on?
I'm not sure what happened there. I think that there was he thought he had cover, and then there was applause at the conclusion. And I mean, I don't know, but I would guess that maybe you just say, "Hey, just so you know, there's a bathroom there on 13 right behind that tee."
Yeah.
So maybe next time, maybe try that.
Yeah, we thought that the worst crime was him wearing the upside down Sun Devils hat.
Yep,
that was the worst look for Augusta.
Yeah,
that's a new thing. That that's a new, like a lot of last couple of years. Like the cool clubs started doing the hats with the big whatever the word is, like a big word for your club. But the new thing is the upside down hats. I'm old and I'm out of it. I don't know what the trends are, but apparently that's the new one.
It's a Jeep thing. You wouldn't understand.
It's like it.
It's like the bumper sticker that says, "If you can read this, flip me over" on a Jeep.
Yeah. Yeah. What about Scotty? Obviously didn't get it done. I felt like maybe I was reading too much into it. The way he got out of there after the Rory putting on the green jacket, I feel like he's going to be on revenge tour.
I think this is the thing about Scott, and I did a bad job today because I thought when DeChambeau hit it in the water on 11, I'm like, oh, we're done here. I lost track of Oberg and Rose and didn't even realize that they had a chance to do what they did, and all of a sudden here they came. Scheffler felt like he didn't play great, right? Fourth.
Right.
Like that's how good that guy is. Didn't really feel like it felt a little bit off. Still finished fourth. Revenge tour. I mean, Scotty's good. I don't think he's not the sort of dude that's wired for revenge, but probably will win a bunch of tournaments between now and the end of the year for sure. But I think like the guy that doesn't win, you just want to get the hell out of the way and let whoever has his moment, particularly when it's Rory, like have the moment to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Rory on 13 when he found the water after he laid up? That was one of the worst shots that I've seen by a major champion, maybe ever. So just how bad was that shot?
You can't do it. Can't miss like that. Like I hated the layup.
Yeah.
And the reason I hated the layup, even though he executed the layup obviously perfect until he hit it in the water, is that like there's a saying that I've heard coaches, and I always go back to Gary Williams at Maryland, and he said like if you play a certain way to build a lead, and then you play completely different to protect the lead, you end up often giving up your lead. Because you played a certain way. There's a certain level of aggression. Rory hit a really nice drive on 13, and I get it. You don't want to bring a big number into play with a second shot to try to get to the green, but he could have gotten to the green. And obviously, in retrospect, if you know you're going to hit in the water, you would have tried to go for the green in 2 anyway. But the wedge game has always been Rory's weakest part of his game. You saw it on 18 in regulation, and he had 82 yards. Like that's a pitch and putt swing for anyone, and he managed to let it leak right and make the one mistake he couldn't make. But I mean, it didn't kill him in the end. I mean, he made 4 doubles. That's the most anyone's ever made to win the Masters. But that swing, the swing on 18 in regulation, those are the moments that you're like, I can't believe he's going to do this again. But then he goes in the bag and pulls out magic time and time again. So.
It really was incredible. It was just it was one of the most memorable Masters I can remember. Just like sitting there the entire afternoon, being like, I have to stay glued to this. I'm not even like going to take a piss because I want to watch every shot.
You went piss dogs? You went piss dogs?
I went piss dogs.
I would love to have gone piss dogs.
I went piss dogs. All right, Scott.
Can I ask you one?
Yeah.
I'm just genuinely curious because like you guys know I've told you this. I said it with Russillo this week that like this is my favorite week of the year. I love it. Being here for a million reasons. Like this weekend was incredible. The weather's perfect. The people here are awesome. The story today was awesome. Like, do you guys? Today was great, but like, is this an event you guys like? I mean, is it something you guys look forward to?
Oh, I love Masters Week.
Absolutely up there in terms of the sports calendar. It's like if you do the sports calendar, I mean, all of football season, but.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean March Madness, Masters,
right.
World Series, like it's absolutely in there in the top. Whatever you want to say. Hey, here's 6 things that you can't miss. Masters are absolutely in there every single year.
Sports draft.
What?
That's on it.
Oh,
yeah.
sports
Very high.
draft. Oh, yeah,
You know what,
that's a
everybody-
good one.
You know what everyone asked me about all week long? We got to take a walk, boys.
Let's do it.
All right, so wait, I have let me cue up the last question, but hold on, Scott.
I'm not going- okay, go ahead.
Let's do this first. When you go back, I'll do the last question.
Okay, hold
Let's
on.
see it. This is
All right, I waited. Hold on. I need to tell you where I was first because it's. I didn't think it. I've been greeting you from the Pop Newman conference room
Oh,
here
hell
in
yeah.
here in
Shout out,
Augusta.
Pop.
Now I'm going to stroll down and let's see it. Great disappointment, boys.
Oh, no.
What are the options here?
No. Let's see what we
Oh,
got.
You got a
and you know
Reese's.
what, Scott? Maybe
What?
next year,
Wait, what's that in the middle? The Ruger?
Ruger.
Is that a
Like,
gun?
I don't even know what that is.
Scott. Maybe
Apparently
next
it's
year.
Apparently, it's a delicious vanilla wafer.
I
We
don't
got
wanna-
the jumbo. We got the jumbo honey buns, and we got the Mrs. Freshly's donut sticks. But there's no Big Texas. But there is my guy here who
I don't want to rub it in,
Yeah,
Scott.
yeah. Maybe next year you skip Augusta and you just come to the PMT studios.
Oh, there we go.
We got Hank's got a whole box.
We
of
got a
them.
whole box.
We got
of
two.
them.
You know what? We got too
Look at
many of
Hank.
them. We'll probably
Look
throw
at
them
Hank just
out.
smashing Big Texas.
Look at this. We got the whole Big Texas. We got to get this sponsored by Big Texas next year. Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's so good.
How would you describe the density of that?
Oh, it's so dense.
It's a hockey puck.
It's yeah, it's dense.
Okay.
It's very
All right.
dense.
Yet airy.
Yeah.
430 calories.
Enjoy. That's
look-
just what you. The density is what you want to put in your stomach.
Look at this. We got the whole Big Texas.
Hey, Max, enjoy our basketball coach, buddy.
Yeah, Max. Oh, yeah, Max. You gotta go back in the room right now, real quick, because Scott's got to go, but you got to answer this real quick.
But you got Buzz.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. Again, we're good. I'm sure
We're Buzz
things
guys.
will go well.
Hey, did you see that? Like all across Maryland Twitter, the clips that like of Buzz is a dog, Buzz is the guy was all PMT interview.
We love Buzz.
because we love him. Like it was being used all the time because he's the best.
I mean, like sending out notes as we speak.
Right, Max. Do you want to say sorry for stealing Scott's coach?
No, I think we're both in a good spot.
Okay,
I think
all right.
I think all as well as that is end well with Maryland and Villanova.
Okay,
Yeah, has it ended well?
Kinda.
Okay.
You didn't win the crown.
The coaching search has ended.
No, this is actually like the start.
Yeah, this is the start of the
You're
blood,
confused
blood
about the
feud.
start and the end.
I hope that there's a little Maryland Villanova rivalry. I would love to do a home and home.
Okay.
So do we.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. My last question, rowback question. RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE. 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, everything. Rowback.com, promo code TAKE. I forgot shorts. I actually have the rowback shorts. They're very, very good. It's golf season. Rowback.com, promo code TAKE. All right. My last question. It's actually a guest question. Because, and you mentioned this, you said that this is your favorite week of the year.
Yep.
Is that because you don't have to spend any time with Stanford Steve? He was wondering. Because that's hurtful.
No, I want him here. The people want him here. I'm gonna build a groundswell to have him here.
This is not real.
Get
Yeah,
Steve to
this.
Augusta?
Yeah, he's gonna show up. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm here with Scott," and like, "We don't know what you're talking about." And you're gonna be on the other side of the gate, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, Steve, I'm sorry. I thought I put your name
No,
on."
it's perfect because you know that he's not going to get there. So you're doing the whole. I'm going to start a movement
Oh,
to
we'd
get
love
Steve
to
here,
have you here.
so that you get the credit for starting the movement. But
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, this is your week. This is like taking time
Why
away
are you
from the
trying
family.
to drive away?
He
between
asked
and
me.
Stanford Steve?
He literally
I
texted
miss
me.
him.
He
I miss
texted.
him. Yeah, he's my favorite human, and I want him to come here because he's become like Mr. Golf. When we go to Quail Hollow next month, we're going to be wandering fairways. He's going to have a sweat towel cooking, and he should be here. He would love it. He would love everything about this week.
Steve would do some damage on the barbecue sandwiches and $2 light
Yeah, he
beers.
would.
Yeah.
See,
Absolute carnage.
Steve,
And yes, we have to fix that. So, all right. Look, the work starts right now. Work
Okay.
starts today.
He listen, I'm going. He texted me, he said, "You taped Scott yet?" I said, "We just started." He said, "This is his favorite week of the year. He says it all the time. Is it because he doesn't have to see or be around me?"
What is that about? Like, I love him. Hey, listen, he's the one that graduated to game day, and like we gotta.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
See?
Oh, I
You know,
like this. I like this.
Somebody's hanging with Coach Saban and Pat and Herbie and Reese, and can't be bothered to hang out with little old me. I'm only on at midnight. I'm not kicking it off at noon.
You know what this is? This is something that we go through. Like when you have a week off from each other, by the Sunday, you're like, man, I miss my bud. I think that's what he was doing. He was texting me like, get back, Scott. We miss you.
Well, I'm going to hop on a plane and go home, and I believe Steve's on vacation, so he doesn't miss me that bad because he's not going to be there when we get back.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
he's just trying to find some strange since you left him. He's going to start a podcast on a cruise ship with somebody.
he's going to
a fling.
You say we get a shot of Stanford Steve in Cabo with Jim Rome. We're like, what the hell?
Racket. All right, that's fine. I hope he has fun.
All right.
Are we good?
Yeah, you're the
we're
best,
good.
Scott. Thank you as always.
Hey,
sorry you didn't get a
I
big
want to tell you
Texas.
this.
Yeah.
I want to tell you this. Thank you to you guys for having me on. You know how much I love it, and it should warm all of our hearts. How many people I see out here at Augusta National who are only say, I can't wait to see you on with the boys tonight. Big Texas, blah blah blah. So this is this on the long list of traditions. Like this became one.
Yeah.
So I look forward to it.
And 1 year we're actually gonna go to Augusta, and we'll do that we'll do the show in the Pop Newman room with you, live.
Yeah, we won't go to the tournament. We'll just hang out at the airport.
Yeah.
And then we'll just wait for you.
Yeah, you should. There'll be a blast and a lot of people coming through. No, you should come to the tournament though. It's worth seeing.
Yeah.
And you can come with Steve and we can eat barbecue sandwiches.
That
sounds good.
Yeah, Hank's now saying, please. He's gonna text me tomorrow morning and be like, did you follow up with Scott about going to the Masters?
It sounded like there were more birds there this year. Is that something you picked up on in person? The birds seem
More
louder.
birds?
Yeah, I heard a lot of chirps.
A lot of birds. Not a lot of squirrels though. Don't see too many
Yeah,
squirrels.
interesting. Biz has a theory about that.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Love you boys.
All
Be
right.
good until next time.
Safe
Thanks,
flight.
Scott. Scott Van Pelt was brought to you by Brex. This episode is brought to you by Brex. Every company is learning to get more from their dollars these days. Meet Brex, the modern finance platform that helps companies do just that. With a corporate card, banking, expenses, and travel all in one place, Brex ensures that the best companies, from the fastest growing AI startups to global enterprises, can control company spend, automate the shit work like expense reports, and get every dollar to the right place. This has earned them the trust of 30,000 companies, including Barstool Sports. We're a proud Brex user here. In fact, I gave my Brex card a little go the other day for some company expenses, and the thing I like best is that it just worked. Tap and go, smooth sailing, none of that receipt collection bullshit. Learn more at brex.com/grow. That's brex.com/grow. SVP was also brought to you by Tax Act. Can you believe the date today? It's April 14th, and your taxes are due on April 15th. Hank, do you have any tips?
Go to taxact.com now. Now, if you're listening to this and you haven't gone already, go now. Taxact.com. Use their expert assist. They will help you answer questions and get your taxes done on time. You don't have any time to waste. Go now. Taxact.com.
They're 100% credentialed, 100% US based, so they know the ins and outs of tax laws. You can get the answers you need starting at just $20. If you need a little help or a lot, they can answer all types of tax-related questions. It's crunch time. You want to get it right. Tax Act makes it easy, so you can get them over with and be done for the season.
Okay, quick Monday reading before we do lottery ball. There was a really good story on golf.com. Let me shout out the writer of James Colgan, wrote about the only Masters story Jim Nantz won't tell. So it's a really good story. Go read it on golf.com. But I wanted to bring it up because I finally feel at peace with the Jim Nantz toast. Remember we had the issue where we thought it was maybe a prank, maybe not a prank, his toast style. So it turns out
just that it was a prank that he would keep a picture in it?
Keep a card,
Or
keep a card of his toast because he likes it extra burnt.
He would allegedly show it to servers.
Correct.
Like, this is when I order toast, this is how I want it.
And you thought that was fake.
So
Maybe.
there was someone, who do we have on that was like, isn't
It was
that a prank?
Raftery.
Yeah,
Raftery
was
thought
like,
it was prank, but I've heard that it's real.
Raftery said he'd never seen the card, and he was like, I don't know if that's real. He might have been pranking.
He probably doesn't have breakfast. He's probably,
True.
Raftery might get up at 10 a.m.
True. So the card is a prank, but he does like his toast Nantz style, and he calls it Nantz style.
Oh, I love that.
So we got to the bottom of it. So this reporter went to a diner with him out in Carmel, California, Pebble Beach. And when he walked in, he said, I'll do the toast Nantz style. And the waitress was a newer waitress there and said, and by Nantz style, you mean? And he just said, oh, just put it through the toaster twice. So they got into like the origin of this. So he loves his toast extra burnt. And apparently he was doing one of these stories like 10 years ago with a reporter kind of embedded with him. And that's where the prank comes in. So his longtime assistant, let me find, okay, here we go. Nantz finds the whole ordeal deeply funny, if only because the actual origin of the legend was a prank. The wallet photo was a gag gift from Nantz's longtime assistant, Melissa Miller. Yoakum, a longtime friend and co-author, was the target when the two met for breakfast to conduct an interview for forthcoming Masters story. Nantz ordered his special brand of toast. He does like it crispy, so that's confirmed, with his laminated wallet card, and he told to the reporter, I made sure the reporter saw the card, and when he asked about it, I said, well, that card has saved me a lot of hours. I told Guy, do the math with me. I eat toast 6 days a week, which, by the way, I eat toast about once a month. This is him talking now. The toast comes out and it's not done. Now the eggs come out, but the toast has got to be sent back because it's not burned. So now I finished my eggs, but I've lost 10 minutes waiting. 10 minutes, 6 days a week. That's an hour a week. Now there's 52 weeks in a year. I'm rounding down that I'm saving 2 days a year. So that was how the whole thing happened.
So it was a joke, and then the reporter saw it. The reporter wrote it up as they didn't fact check the joke.
He loves his toast extra toasty, but the actual card was a joke on a reporter.
It sounds like the joke was not really a joke. It was like, here, Jim, this will actually save you time. And then Jim was like, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But it was like one of those serious ha-ha jokes.
Yeah. But I'm happy we got to the bottom of it.
Do we have to question the tie?
No, the tie's real.
The tie is real.
Giving away the tie was real.
The tie is 100%.
Because
we saw it and he got shamed.
Yeah, it was real because he was angry that the story got out.
Yes.
He was like, that's supposed to be just a nice behind-the-scenes thing.
Yeah.
How much do you think Jim Nantz gets paid?
A lot.
I think he gets paid more than you think he does.
Were you guys a little sad at the end of the Masters today? Like, we only have 10 more of these?
I was. Yeah.
Is it 10 or 11?
11. Sorry, 11 more of these.
Don't cut us short.
We have
please.
11 more of these. That's going to go by in a blink.
I'm going to guess Jim Nantz gets $15 million a year.
I would
How
say
many more?
more.
I was going to say
More?
20.
I mean, he
How
does NFL and
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So probably
Masters.
probably 35 mil.
Yeah, he gets a lot.
Good for him.
Yeah.
How many more shots of a lifetime in 11 years?
6. 2.
Well, I think every player it could be 11 because every
Yeah.
player can have their own shot of a lifetime.
True.
It's not shot of
Rory
his.
can't.
Jim Nantz doesn't say shot of my lifetime,
Yeah,
does he?
Rory can't
No,
have
that's
another one.
he already had.
Yeah.
He even had 2.
Yeah, he did. All right. Finish up numbers, by the way.
3.
I'll do 3. You got it. You can have it. I don't care who has it. I just
Who
want
has
him to
it?
get it.
Who got it?
I got it.
No, PFT
I
got it.
All right,
first.
PFT got
I'll
it.
take 4.
I'll take 5.
Someone at the airport gave SVP a big Texas. So he did get his.
Love that.
Yeah, he just texted us. He's like, update, someone handed me this. So he got his big Texas. So
I'll take
it lives on.
11. Minus 11.
What's Rory's? What's something Rory's number?
He was minus 11.
Oh.
He shot 73 today.
He is
73.
This is his 5th major.
Was
but-
he
73.
35 years old?
99
Fifth
put.
major? I thought it was his 4th. Fuck.
44.
I think it's his 5th.
No,
Why-
it was
why were
Grand
you that-
Slam. I just assumed 4.
Where
No,
were
he
you,
won. He won the
US Open.
U.S. Open twice.
why were you that broken up about that, Memes?
I don't know.
He tied Brooks.
No, he was just like, fuck.
I want to get it. I want to get it today.
A major.
All right, everyone say their numbers again.
4.
3.
11.
73. You are never
5.
going to get it.
Somebody's
How
gonna
many
get it.
majors will Rory have before Memes gets it?
That's
7.
Yeah, I'm
99.
gonna say 7 as well.
44.
7's probably a safe bet. Mm-hmm. Get you at least 2 years.
Well, how old?
Should we do a punishment if Rory gets to 7 majors before Memes gets
Yeah.
the number?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we should punish him.
Memes has to play Augusta until he shoots a 73.
done.
You can't leave though. You can't stop playing.
You have to move.
and you can't
to,
get. We're not going to get you on. You have to just.
No, it's
figure
got to
out
be
how
on the
get
simulator. We'll
yourself,
just
yeah.
find a simulator. You'll be on the simulator.
You have to get married and divorced and then married again.
The same woman.
Yeah.
He's
Memes is never gonna get it.
What if it's the Punch
90. Love you guys.